Good morning, London. Hello. How is it going? My house is not on fire, by the way. This is a humidifier that is behind me, so no panic. Don't think, oh my God, her house is on fire behind her. I can see it in the camera. So, they're burning some sugar cane behind me, or somewhere is in a field, and it has a really bad smell. So it's just nice to have the minty, and I think it's a nice effect, right? Looks. Maybe I should put some color behind it. Like, I think I'm gonna do that. I think it's nice, but no worries, guys. There's no fire. How is it going? How is it going, my friends? So yesterday was not an easy day in New York, right? It was a little bit tough, but sort of expected because we had such a good already move in. This was literally yesterday. So we had Asia. So we opened up right over here Sunday. We went higher AMD, right? Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. We literally had distribution already starting in London, and just literally the distribution lasted until 11 o'clock in the last hour between 10 and 11, and then we just started to dribble down. I was very bullish. I'm still bullish, but it wasn't just the time to move. Literally, we had a sort of we didn't have an inside day because we were just, we do actually, because Friday was a large day, right? Obviously, let's see. Yeah, obviously it was an inside day, but it doesn't matter. We're going to have a lot of inside days if we're going to go higher, but it made sense to stop trading at some point because the move was so massive that we already had in Asia and in London. So we literally had a full AMD already playing out in Asia, London, and the first until 11 o'clock, and just let's say the AM session. So at some point, I just knew also I have to stop because this is not going to work for me. I was bullish, but obviously, as you can see here, from the time we hit this level here, we just started moving back into the opening range gap of the morning. And just it was just back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So not easy, and it just, yeah, you just want to stay out of that at some point. And also I thought, oh, maybe we're going to respect this order block. No, it did not. It just wanted to go lower again a little bit and just, sort of like accumulate again. The other thing that is noticeable is the extremely large opening range gap that we formed yesterday, and we did not really fill it, but also we did not fill a lot of Friday's opening range gap. So that was the reason I was very bullish yesterday still. But it was not really smart of me to think that way because obviously I did say it in London. Yeah, we might have it might, not be the best price action in New York after you had such a large move in Asia plus London. And yeah, it made sense that it just went back to the N walk, right? You can see this here in Asia. It went back to the N walk. Technically, it already here, not during New York session, but then we moved down. Hey, Wild Heart, how are you doing? And then we moved back up. So I'm still bullish. I was giving it a few stabs yesterday to the upside, but it was too early. It was just too early. I mean, you can't expect Asia, London, New York to keep moving, right? I mean, so at some point it was like, okay, give it up. So here we are. So I'm already gave it away. I'm still bullish. I still think we're going higher into this opening range gap that we did not fill Friday. So those are literally almost the same levels that I tried for yesterday. So they're still in play for me. So yeah, I'm bullish until proven otherwise. Higher time frame obviously bearish, but I think we want to dig a little bit deeper. But hey, who knows? Remember that how ES looks on the top, right? It's still, but let's see. Yeah, and look how ES looked yesterday on the 4 hour. That is not easy to trade. I mean, this is just not 6 o'clock, the 10 o'clock. You see, this is just, it is just, I hope no one got chopped up because it was very, it got, You know, it just tricks you, and I almost got caught in it as well. Yeah. So I was like so determined. Oh my God, it's going higher. I know it's going higher. Yeah, but hey, genius, not now. So yeah, here we go. But anyway, so I do think we're going a little bit higher, but we'll see. But cautious still. Trader Sloss. Oh, Trader Sloss. I saw you. You joined the pre-market pleb. Do I have your name? Do you have the same name on Discord? Because I need to add you to the Discord tab. Let me know in the Discord. Are you in Discord? Because I need to add you to that. Do you mean the RTH gap, not the opening gap? I don't see a day opening gap. No, I'm talking about the opening range gap. So that's the gap. The two gaps that you see here are the gaps between when the market closes at this is the difference between the N walk and the opening range gap. The opening range gap is measured from 4:15 and until when the market opens, 9:30. That's the overnight gap. Smart money uses that gap. The N walk or the N dog is calculated from 5 to 6. That's the difference. Yeah, so N walk 5 to 6, and if it's the N dog or N walk are the same. The only difference is the N walk is calculated from Friday's close to Monday, and the N dog is all weekdays. So, but they're different, technically the same, right? But most of the times the N walk is a little bit larger because it's an overnight gap. But the opening range gap that I'm talking about is the gap between 4:15 closure and 9:30 open. And those are those gaps that I'm showing here. And I that's what I traded a lot also during pre-market prep. Those help me a lot in my trading. Most of my big moves are due to those gaps in New York session. They help me. Yeah. We don't have a day gap today. Let me check. I didn't even look at that. Let me see. Where did we open today? We already moved quite a bit, did we not? Yeah, today we don't have a gap. So yesterday, that's also one of the reasons I was like, so Friday it left a gap of over 400 points, and yesterday we had a gap of over, I believe, between 600 and 700 points, which is massive, right? So it was either or, but that's why I still think we are going up a little bit, but we'll see. I mean, I don't want to. But you're not talking about regular trading. I have no idea what you're talking about. There's just the gaps that I'm talking about are the only gaps that I use. The RTH gap, so the ones between 4:15 and 9:30, and the N walks and the N dogs. Those are the gaps that I'm talking about. I have no idea what you are referring to. Trading hour gap, regular trading hour gap. What do you mean with regular trading hour gap? But I've got these automated on my chart anyway, so. Trader Sloss, do you have the same name on Discord? Do you have Yeah, but those are the N dogs and the N wogs. You don't have to. I've automated them. So you are talking about the N wogs and the N dogs. So if I would switch to regular, you would see them, but I have automated them. So I don't. I keep my chart on electronic, but I plot them here, so I don't need to go back. But if I go back, you'll see a gap here, right? That's the difference. So I don't have to go to regular trading, but I can show you. If I go to regular trading hours, you'll see a gap right over here somewhere. You'll see them. But yeah, I would rather stay on electronic and have them plotted. Do you understand? Hey, Matthew. Yeah. No, there's no fire behind me. Okay, guys, I mentioned it. I mentioned it when I started the stream. That's a humidifier. I think the effect is nice, right? It looks like actually, it's funny that no one actually is saying something. But I think, yeah, so I mentioned it when I started, but obviously new people are coming in and they're like, what the hell's going on? But it's such a nice smell. I put some mint in it because they're burning some, so they're burning sugarcane behind me or in a field somewhere. And that really smells, it smells sort of bad. It's like very sweetish, but it's sort of nasty. And it's always around this time of year. But also when it gets a little bit dry because it's winter here. Well, actually here there's still rain. But in the Lowveld where I'm normally from, there is no rain. But I think I'm going to put some light under it, I think. And then it's a nice effect, right, guys? Don't you think? Okay, Trader Slow. Is it clear? Yeah. So yes. So technically, when you are a purist, you go to RTH gap, and then you look for that gap between 5 and 6 o'clock, and that's the gap we call the end dog now because we are on Tuesday, and there is none, right? Because we don't have a gap. But this is the one of yesterday. Um, Let me show you. Oh, I switched it off. Here you go. So method, well, now we're talking about these anyway. So here you can see, right? This is the gap between Friday and Sunday open, right? So that's the end walk because it's a new week opening gap. And then from today would have been the end dog. Now, Method has created an awesome indicator for us. Well, not for us, but we are allowed to use it. So we're very appreciative of that. Why is this such an amazing indicator? Now there are more NWOG, NDOG indicator. He actually added the opening range gap, but for some reason I'm just used to what I'm doing, but you can also add the opening range gap in that indicator. But the awesome thing about his indicator is that you can choose, this is the above and below. So that means if we go lower like we did Friday, you don't have to show all 20 end dogs because it's like every day. If we move down a month, it's like you know how many days, you'll have a messy chart. But it will only show you those where price is one above and one below. So that's pretty awesome. So it keeps your charts a little bit clean. Now, I'm not the best at keeping my charts clean, as you guys can see. But this helps me a lot, just keeping, just having not too many end dogs and end wogs on my chart. But when price moves, it'll show themselves, right? So that's why I like it. And from the most important thing for me also is the end wogs event horizon and the end dog event horizon, which is the midpoint between two of them, right? Those are also algorithmic levels of importance where price is drawn to, just as price is drawn to the end wog and end dogs themselves. So is the midpoints between the two of them. So I have kryptonite indicator, but he doesn't. You cannot. I don't think you can choose. I think I can. You choose with kryptonite as well between that you can delete every L, only the ones that are beyond and below. I don't know. I think that method ones was the only one that did it. It looks pretty nice, the smoke behind me, right? I think it looks pretty cool. But anyway, so no fire, guys. Okay, so I'm still bullish. I'm bullish. I think we're going into Friday's opening range gap. Now the only thing is that we need to find a good entry. So, did anyone trade yesterday? Did anyone manage to? I mean, it was good until 11 o'clock, but then it really got shitty, right? But in hindsight, when I was journaling it, it was actually quite clear. I was like, yeah, you know, you should have seen it already sooner. Okay, let's go. Let's do a poll. We will do a poll. I love polls. How many people are there? 25. Okie dokie. We've got a gap here. And the 1 minute. I think I'm gonna mark this area here. Yeah, I want this. I think I like this one at the gap. I'm gonna include this gap here. I think this one might come in play later on today. You always want to add, if you have a fair value gap, you need to add the gap, right? You guys know that. So this is, I think this might be in, we did go into it already, but we still have this little gap here. That's why I'm looking at it. This is also Asia low, I believe. Am I correct? Yes, this is Asia low. So I like, yeah, I just want to keep an eye on this area because we did not have a body closure. Oh, we have, look here, we also have a, here. Let me go here a little bit, see what happened. What did we do today? Midnight, we opened, we went lower and then we went higher above it. Now we're consolidating above midnight. Okay, where did we open? Asia made quite a large move already, hey? Am I seeing it correctly? Let me go to the 5. Where's my daily open? Okay, daily open here. We moved away, we moved again back, 9-4, then we move lower. We created Asia low here. Asia low is here. Asia low in the end dog. We went higher. Such a large range again for Asia. This is quite a big range, almost 300 points on Asia range only. Okay. Did anyone take the? Did anyone traded Asia today? The long. Okay. Well, I'm bullish, guys. I'm just bullish, but let's see if we can find a nice trade. I want to trade prop firms, but for some reason my Ninja trade doesn't want to connect any prop, and I find out why. Why? Did you find out why, or you can't find out why? Yeah, I think in that case you should. If you can't figure it out, I mean, contact Ninja Trader, I would say. But I think they're normally pretty easy to connect to. I don't use Ninja Trader, to be honest, so I can't give you any advice. Let me know if you need advice. We can ask the chat. But let's do a poll. So bullish or bearish? And with bullish, I mean bullish going all the way higher, or bearish, I mean, oh, hush, hush, baby. And bearish, I mean, we might go up a little bit and then go lower again in London. So let's do that. Or accumulate, because we've made quite a big move. We have to add it. Bullish, bearish, or accumulation. Oh, bullish, bearish, accumulation. Bullish, bearish, London session. Here we go. Okay. How many trades do I take per session? That's a good question. So keep core Simon. I try to take one trade per session, but I always start London with paper trading. Why? Especially when I just wake up. Well, I'm not just woken up, but it's like warming up, right? If you play tennis or golf, you want to have a few practice swings. So I sort of like always test the waters. How am I feeling? Am I reading the market correctly? Am I slow in my brain? Am I, how am I? Just to test. I just started noticing that that works really well for me. So those count as the real trades, but I try to only take one good trade per session per account. If I have a break-even trade, I can give it another go, and I try to stop at one loss. Yeah, that's really hard to do, to be honest, but I'm trying to really work on that. So one account, one loss. If it's like my max loss, or I just I didn't put the trade in correctly, I just try to stop on that account. But in all fairness, when it's a loss, I tend to give it another go, one more go. So that is actually I'm bending that rule a little bit, but yeah. So that's what I tried to do. Yesterday, I had some good trades in pre-market, and I gave it another go in New York, and I had to give back a little bit of the profit. Yeah, because one trade didn't go as high as I thought it would do, so I was in profit. Then my runner was stopped out in profit, and another account was a loss. And then I thought, okay, I have to stop now. I just have to stop because it's just not working anymore. When you start getting to break even and then the next one is a loss, it's already sort of like telling you, right? It's like, okay, just stop. So anyway, yeah. Yeah, you have to talk to Ninja. We can all say something, but it doesn't really help you. Yeah, you need to sort it out, Green Globe. Otherwise, you can't trade, right? Um, but yeah, having rules is a double-edged sword, and keeping to them is sometimes hard. But the moment I don't keep to them, I'm always punished. But I try to have one because it makes you very selective, and you become more selective as well because of how I'm going to enter my trade and how can I get the max out of one trade, right? Because if you allow yourself only one trade per account, you want to max out that run. And I notice that makes me. Otherwise, I'm just like if there's like always if oh, stop it. I have to keep myself from tilting. I really need rules to keep myself very straight. If I don't do that, I can just keep on going, and I don't want that anymore. So I need very strict rules. And I've been doing much better since I'm applying them. And I still bend them a little bit sometimes, but yeah, like I said, I find it hard to stop after one loss on a trade. I find that hard to do. But yeah. Do you look for draws on liquidity on high? Yes, I look at everything, definitely. I always start my day. What's the name of the indicator that you use? Which indicator? Or you mean the NWalks and NDocs from Mether Z? So the one that I was just showing was this one here. I've got many indicators, but this one is the one that I was. ICT, NWalk, NDoc, opening range gap, Mether Z. That was the indicator that I just showed. And you can, use a lot of There's a lot of options, but this one is for me the main thing, the above and below, that I really, really like. So you don't have to plot all 20 end dogs. You can just plot one, or you can just plot 20 and then put that above and below. That when it goes, it will show you the ones that are applicable. So keeps my full charts a little bit cleaner. So I've got a lot on my chart. I know I have to sort something. I have to figure out how I'm going to do that for streaming, because I need those levels. You see how well my levels are working, right? Just keep on here also, boom. It just helps me a lot. It's my roadmap, so I can't, if I have to delete them, I'm blind. I don't think I can trade anymore. What's your draw on today? So Trader's Loss, I'm actually still in the process of collecting intel. Like I said, I am bullish, but let's do a. I think price is indicating bullishness. When will I have my confirmation? I think when we are over the end dog here and we have a closure above it. I think then we might go to this midpoint and then maybe even here. So I'm sort of like taking it step by step. But now let's have a look. Now yesterday, I don't know if you guys noticed that we rejected exactly at a 705 level. Let me show you. I did see it, but I did not. I didn't want to. I was married to my bias a little bit, but I was like, yeah. But a lot of the times you can get a nice retracement or reversal at that level, right? And we did. So it would not have gone higher in hindsight. Okay, GG, come. It's okay. Oh, what am I doing here? Where is my level? Friday? Or was it here? This was the level here. Here you were. You see from this range, but I think now we should take the higher range. So if I'm looking, just plotting the whole range which we established on Friday, right? So from here to here, we are now in premium because we just tapped over 50%. The question is, do we want to go to the OTE golden zone, that is this area? Once we are over here, which matches also with some other levels, I just want to look how we are going to react at these levels here. So, but technically, we have to be careful by saying, "Oh, I'm bullish and I'm going to marry my bias," because technically it can reject here and go lower again, because technically we went into premium. It could just be a little kiss and go lower, right? Now I think that is just my thought. I think we're going to go higher, but I'm aware that we are above 50%. So anytime it could go lower if it wants to. So just gonna keep an eye on these levels if it wants to go higher. If not, I know, okay, it can go lower because we hit the 50% of that whole level, of that whole range, sorry. Apologies. So you have to be careful. You have to always have like if then, okay, so yes, I'm bullish, but there is a chance that it doesn't want to go higher. So let's see if price is what it's showing us. Now I think it's bullish for the time being. Oh, lucky one. Um, Thank you for being here, lucky one. Can I see those levels on the hourly, please? What levels on the hourly are you talking about? Let me close the curtains, guys. Now, you can have your bias correct, but sometimes you don't know if we're going to have a retracement first, right? So your bias can be okay, but what if you are bullish, but it makes a retracement first? So um, you always have to think about that as well because it never goes up in a straight line, right? So I was bullish yesterday, but I guess my bias was correct, but the timing was off because it wasn't ready to move. It was just retracing into the range back, right? And now it's making its move up. So I think my bias is still correct from yesterday, but it doesn't help you if the timing is not there. So it's also understanding weekly profiles, daily profiles, London, New York in combination to London, things like that. So it's not just having a bias is sometimes also, like I said, it can be a double-edged sword because you think, oh my God, I know where it's going. Yeah, that is good to know because you always want to trade with the higher time frame trend. That's why I'm also always say, if my 4 hour is bearish, but I'm bullish, I prefer not to trade it because I want to trade with my trend, right? So I know that my daily bias is lining up with my 4 hour, with my hourly, and with my 5 minute and my 1 minute bias. So, and sometimes it takes time for that to play out, right? So, but yeah, I think we're going to expand again in this macro. Let me just you can see yesterday was a bullish day. Now the question is, are we going to have a closure, a daily closure above this end walk on the daily? So if you want to have a closure, that means you don't want it to go up and lower again. So if I look at the daily right now, I'm like, that looks pretty bullish to me. Unless we are just going to create equal highs here or just take this high a little bit and go lower. But I do think that we might want to maybe go into this wick here as well. We'll see. It looks bullish to me. I mean, we might have some expansion on the daily to the upside. It looks to me like we formed the wick already, but I could be wrong. The 4 hour also looks bullish to me. So yeah, I'm still bullish. I think we have to watch the price go into ES's daily area here. So I think we're good to go to the upside until ES reaches this level. So that might take a while. Here you go. You see this? That was actually the one that we used yesterday in NQ, and ES is slower, so we want to use this. So yeah. Okay, let's go. I think I'm a bull. I'm getting more and more bullish. The more I look at the price action, the more bullish I get, and I actually think we're going into this area. Okay. I'm gonna put on my paper trade. Okay. Hey Thomas, how are you? I haven't even got my levels yet. I'm just paper trading my first trade, guys. I'm warming up. It's my first golf swing. See, I feel like I'm playing golf. I just want to see if I'm reading the market correctly. If I'm in tune with the market. 706. Okay, I'm gonna keep it small. I'm practicing more base hits in London because I just want to get better at smaller trades, and my larger trades will be in New York. I just need to get, just having more. I like this. Okay, just expand in this macro, please. You can do it. See, I marked this area. Let's see if I get stopped. That's so fine. Maybe it wants to go down first before it goes up. Oh, good. I also don't care if it will go, and if I have like a 200 or 300 point paper trade, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I'm not making any money. I'm not making any money. I don't think that way anymore. And if it's a loss, I'm even happier because I'm like, okay, good thing I didn't put my money on the line. Hey, NQ Futures, how are you? It's Amir. Amir, why are you sitting on your hands today? If I may ask, what's your reason? I think it's no news today, right? Let me double check. Today, 9th of June. Yeah, it's no news. Yeah, and tomorrow, and we've got CPI and PPI tomorrow and Wednesday. So I'm also very careful today. I agree with you. I'm still bullish, but I'm because yesterday was also actually quite a large move, and we already moved a lot in Asia again. So just being a little bit careful. But I'm still going to maybe just, see how price is behaving and then see how small the candles are, guys. You can see that. Hey, Company Man Carl, hi, Marat, how are you doing? Yes, I am well. How about yourself? How did you do yesterday? So actually, my logic is very simple today. I'm bullish until ES. I'm bullish on NQ until ES hits this level here. um, if that makes any sense. One micro. I love micros. Don't we just love micros, guys? Trader slots. I think we hit an order block like 15 minutes ago. I'm with you with that. Oh, you mean on the a bullish order block? A bullish one. Yeah, but I don't like this little gap here, to be honest. I think it's a little bit too spotty for me. I don't think it's going to continue yet. I think we're going to have some bullshit before it wants to really go. See this little here? It's just not moving. We printed a gap here as well. So But we're definitely in the market maker buy side, right? You can see we have a sell side, buy side. We're finalizing the market maker model. But it's always tricky when you have this here. Trader's loss, one could also argue, yeah, but you're also hitting bearish order blocks, right? Here, here. But yeah, I'm still more bullish than bearish. Let's see. We could reject in this wick here. Oh, I forgot something. I forgot to do something. Pum, pum, pum. So for those who just tuned in, guys, there's no fire behind me. That's a humidifier blowing some smoke. I managed 140 points on that long trade. Something else required attention, so I started trading my SL. Good, well done, company man Carl. I'm happy to hear that. Was it on the trade in pre-market or the one in New York session or London? Yeah, it's good to trill. I mean, especially well, at some point when you get better at them, you don't want to trill too fast because then your 8 hour trade becomes a 2 hour trade. But you'll get to once you start seeing that, you know, okay, I've got to start journaling that and work on that. But yeah, in the beginning, it's trailing is a good thing to do, I guess. I have to get better with the larger stop losses if I go for really larger trades because sometimes it's just, you know, you just can't find a good entry at that point, but you're still like, okay, you know what? The most perfect entry is already gone, but you sort of like have everything lined up, and even though you wait for another confirmation, so you have to sometimes sit through a little bit of drawdown. But if it's a 400 point, 300, 400 point trade, I guess 40 points should be okay. But I sort of have issues with that. I get very nervous. It's sort of like my heartbeat goes up, everything goes up. I'm sort of like programmed a little bit that way. Um, in London, okay, I remember you was okay. That was London. Yeah, well done. Okay, let's see if it wants to reject here. I think we're gonna just consolidate a little bit. Ugh. Hmm. Choo-choo-choo-choo-choo. We might reject in this wick. Remember, wicks are gaps, right? What does a market do? Market does only two things: balance out imbalances. A gap is an imbalance, and seeks liquidity. So it's not only about liquidity, guys. It's not everything is about liquidity. Gaps and imbalances are equally, or I would actually even say more important. They sort of come before the liquidity. So if you can manage to identify the imbalances, you sort of like know, you start knowing when price will go for liquidity and when not, if that makes sense. Okay, let's see. Bullish, 71%. So all London, 14% bearish in accumulation. Yeah, like I said, I'm bullish until ES reaches this little imbalance here. Then we'll reassess again. $217. Also on the 15, we have a little bit of a gap here. So we could fall back into this gap here. I hate this slow price action. I just don't like it. You guys know that. Pum, 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 pum. 700. Oh, did I just get a message that it was there's maintenance? I can't do anything. Oh, here you go. We're doing briefly. Paper trading will be back. Okay, thanks. Okay, I can't do anything with I can't change anything on my paper trade. I can't change my trade anyway, guys, because they're doing maintenance. It is what it is. That's a good way to who by the way, honest question, who by the way has set their accounts to be stopped to lock themselves out if they make a specific amount of loss or win? I'm just curious how many people have done that. I actually have not done that. I've started doing this since very shortly. I was like, oh my God, imagine that if I couldn't set myself to it for a long time. I finally did it not so long ago. But I'm just curious how many people have done that. Like, really, okay, you know what? If I have a daily loss, this is the amount, I'm out. And it can't, I'm locked out. I'm just curious how many people are doing that. So I can think it can easily go lower because of all the imbalances it left behind. So let's see. We hit zero point 0.5 of this range. So don't be surprised if we go all the way into this range here. I can't change my trade because they are doing maintenance. So I'm either stopped out or it goes to profit. Can't change it anymore. You haven't. Yeah. I have a daily loss of 70. Yeah, but I mean, you have a daily loss that is set by the company, but do you have your own daily loss? Let's say 200, 300, or whatever it is, it doesn't matter, but that is your daily loss before you hit that one that is provided by the company. So let's say you don't want to, um, you have, yeah, yeah. Oh, you choose 750. I got you. I got you. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a good thing because sometimes we just need to, once you get like sort of like, it sucks when it hits because it tells you that you sort of like, maybe already took it a little bit too far in my case. But yeah, I think it's a good thing. It keeps you from blowing accounts. Pum 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 pum. We are so bullish for today. No, I don't use volume profiles and VROP. I don't need that. No, no, no. Look, we hit 0.5 of the week. I'm already, it's gonna stall here. It's already telling you it's gonna stall. We might go even retest an order block here. Maybe go into this range because we left some imbalances behind. Um, Price is moving very slow. It's already telling you a lot. It's giving already so much information. Um, we have to be patient. Uh, no, but I'm about to start doing 450. Okay, good. Yeah, trader's loss. I mean, it's like a safety measure, right? But it's sort of like once you're locked out, it sucks when you're locked out and then you see that trade what you're waiting for. But that sort of punishes you that you weren't patient, which is for me. Um, okay, there you go. You weren't patient. You're locked out. Now it goes. So you should have been patient. So, and yeah, you have to wait like a whole day the next day. But I think it's a good, for me, it's really a good thing because it also like, no, I don't want to be locked out. I don't want to even get there because what if then it always comes right straight after you blow your account or whatever. That then that trade, you see that setup that you actually wanted and you know that worked for you, right? I mean, oh, get if you're into bots and try to promote your bots, please go somewhere else. I don't like that. Are you a bot, air prompt? I'm gonna ban you straight away. Yeah, AI prompt course. See, this is some AI bullshit thing. I think I should ban him already. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna ban him. He's just an AI bot. You see, he's just trying to get his AI bullshit to. I mean, they are so, you can already tell they are just AI. People are just trying to sell AI shit. Bots. Oh, it's easy to trade. Look here, it's already going. Blah blah blah. Get out of here. Talking like a market maker. Oh, you should be fine. How the f do you know that I am doing well? You're not a market maker. Yeah, it's already the name is already. I didn't even realize it. AI prompt course. So just wants to promote AI bullshit. Let me see if it gets into the. So Trader Slots, do you have the same name on Discord? Let me add you straight away because I need to do that. Members, traders. Okay, Trader Slots. I can't find you on. Oh, Trader. Okay, I got you. Oh, you already mentioned that. I got you. I sorry. I saw that. What do you mean with Trader Buns? I got you. That's a cute name, Trader Buns. Let me add you straight away. There you go. You're added in pre-market prep as well now. So if I don't stream, I keep you updated there. I tend to stream a little bit longer now there because it's not only the 8:50 to 9:20. Just keep. Okay, gotcha. That is sorted. Oh my God, I've got a lot of new people here. Hmm. I think I know the same scammers are back. I think I know who they are. They operate in pairs. And they change their names, but I recognize already the if they come in again on the Discord. Um, well, guys, you can give it a go, but you're banned very quickly, so you might slip through the cracks. But so you see what happened? We hit 50% of the wick, and we're going lower again. Hey Vivek, I'm new to your channel. My new favorite YouTube. Oh, thank you. You guys are too kind. That is too sweet. Okay, let's see. We are at 2 o'clock. You see, because when price moves so slow and we leave all these imbalances, there is a high probability, especially when we have a wick like this. We went to 50% of the wick and we're going lower again. So I'm learning to detach emotionally, but it's been a bit expensive to learn. Hey, listen, I think it's one of the most expensive lessons. But yeah, you have to start somewhere, right? You've got to start somewhere. And at some point, Lance, you'll get so fed up with it, really. I mean, you get so sick of yourself. And until you get to that moment, you're like, "Ugh, okay, I'm so, you get like, especially when it happens on Friday, for example, you had a good week, and then you blow everything on Friday, and then your whole weekend, you feel like throwing up because you just hate yourself, and you just why, and then you're like, okay, now I really need to change something. And that's the moment you really sit down and think about, okay, just thinking about it doesn't work. I've tried it. I've said it many times to myself. It doesn't work. What do I really need to change? And that's where the hard work comes in, because it's not easy. I mean, it's not like it's easy to say, but making that change is the hard part, and it takes time to adapt, because we are wired in a different way. We're humans. We are not wired to do less when we actually think we might have to do more to solve the issue, right? Because that's the problem. You're like, okay, I made a mistake. Let me solve it quickly. This is how we are wired. But you have to actually take a walk away, reset yourself, and then wait more, and wait for that one moment. But it's hard. It's not easy. It really comes down to tricking the brain, literally. Just being positive and thinking, oh my God, I don't want to do it anymore is not enough. But it's sort of like you have to hit rock bottom in a way, and like, ugh, I'm so fed up with myself. I hate myself. You know, ICT teaches you always have to be nice to yourself in your journal. But there is a time that you really like, I don't, that time that you're like, okay, now I'm so fed up with myself. When you're like really telling yourself, okay, now you need to get your act together or stop trading. Simple as that. It comes down to that question. It's either or. In that moment, and then you really have to start making the change. And then it's still not easy. So, hey Gianluca, how are you? Yeah, Lance, you just have to find out what your rules are and your model, and build them around your model, right? And then, yeah, you've got the evals already, so that's one. Now you just need the your if then statements, and your, well, you start with the model. What is, I mean, have you back tested a model? Have you forward tested a model? Do you have some data on something that really, that okay, that works because I have done that 100 times, from that 100 times 80% or 60% 70% works. Then what you want to do, when you have that data, you want to fine tune that data, like, okay, what are those, let's say 40 to 20% that doesn't work? Why is it not working? So you can also take out a little bit of those time that it doesn't work, because you need to figure out why is it not working. So at some point you will start recognizing then, and you stop trading that. So your 60% of that model becomes 60, 70%, right? So that's how I have been doing it. So I started with a model because I was just starting, that was 60%. Okay, that's good enough for me. And then I started identifying, in the weekends when the market wasn't, I was like, okay, let me go deeper into those trades. Why didn't it work? And you start seeing things. Okay, so I can add if then statement. If that happens, then I'm also not going to take that trade, because most of the times then it still could fail. But you have to grow into it, because you don't have the knowledge straight away, right? So that's how you do it, but it takes time, right? And it comes down to patience again. Well, I don't think we have to be nice to ourselves after. After a loss, loss is just part of the game. Not following your rules. Don't be nice to yourself when you are being a dick and not following your rules and being undisciplined. I think that's like a little bit. I mean, that's like, oh, just sugarcoating everything. But yeah, just having a loss is part of the game. But if you're not following your rules, hey, listen, I'm not nice to myself if I'm not following my rules, because that's dangerous for me. It's my life. It's your work, it's your money, it's everything. But just if I follow my rules and it's a losing trade, I'm totally fine with it. You guys can see that here as well. If I have a trade on and I follow my rules, I sit back, and then the outcome doesn't matter to me anymore. But if I don't follow my rules, I'm like, oh, I'm so upset. Even on a paper trade, I'm very upset. Or when I miss a very obvious trade, I'm very upset. Even if it's a paper trade, whatever, because should have seen it, because I'm not focused enough, and blah blah blah. But yeah, I mean, if you just have a loss because you just follow your rules, and it's one of your, in the percentage, it's part of the game that we're playing. But yeah, don't be too sweet on yourself when you're being a degenerate. We've got to be tough on ourselves. We got to learn. We got to stop doing it. Yeah. So, and the moment things become more mechanical, that's where the change will come. But you have to put in the work. You have to make everything data driven, rule based, data driven. And that makes everything, also takes away the emotion. That's why I keep hammering also on the journaling. And on the, well, I don't back test anymore, but I forward test. But yeah, I've got most of my data already. But yeah, you need to have data and sort of like, if I see specific models, I know, okay, this model gives me 70%. And I have to accept the 30% sometimes, right? But then I know, okay, well, it's fine. I know the model shows itself, like, say, 3 or 4 times per week, and some daily. I'm okay. Then I'm like, okay, you know what? This is one. The next one will work, and it doesn't bother me at all. And also because then my stop. That's why I always want my stop. My sweet spot is between 10-20, but sometimes I have to go to 20-30. But on the trade that I took, with 246 points this week. Was it Friday? Oh, that was Friday. I went to 40 points, a little bit over 40 points. That was on pre-market prep. Well, the people on pre-market could see me, and I said, "Oh my God, I'm so uncomfortable at the moment." But I have to do it because I see a trade and I think it's going to work. Everything is lining up except my stop because I'm a little bit too late. I couldn't frame the trade early. It was the accumulation phase. And it was too difficult for me to frame it from anything else. But I thought, well, I think this is just reaccumulation for the continuation. So I have to get in. But I couldn't find a trade that would give me a better. So I went over 40 points, 42 points, I believe it was. And I felt really uncomfortable. And it didn't run in the 10-50 macro straight away. So I got really nervous a little bit. And like, oh my God. And finally, after 11 o'clock, it started running and I could trail it. And then I was like, okay, I got easy. But it was really, I mean, I could tell. It was like, I'm totally not comfortable with it. And I have to get more comfortable, especially when you trade larger trades. No, so what I do, I just use, no, I don't share my journal. It's very personal. Your journal is very personal, guys. You can share the basics, but what I write in my journal, it's very personal. I do share it here, like, okay, I got very uncomfortable, blah, blah, blah. But what you really write down is something that's really yours. And you really want to be brutally honest to yourself. And some things you don't want people to know, maybe, because it's like, it's brutally honest. The good, the bad, the ugly. Now I try to be as open about it as I can, but some things it's like your diary. So what I do, I journal in two ways. I journal my trades, but I also journal the market. And journaling the market is like from the 15-minute, 1 hour, higher time, just to see what did price do. And also for me, especially when I started out, to get a feel about the weekly profiles, daily profiles, how does London is into contrast to, or New York into contrast in London, how can I use that data, blah, blah, blah. So I used to do that a lot. And also to connect dots a little bit faster. Now, trades I go over when I had a winning trade. Now I record everything, so I have to do a little bit better on my making recaps and stuff like that. So there's some work to do for me. But what I do when I go into trading caps, I use obviously, and I put this, okay, like for example, I would say I entered the trade at this time, my stop loss was here, it went to TP or not, and what can always another section, what could I have done better. And when I started to have small trades, when 5 to 10 points, I was like, okay, and it would run, I wouldn't care, but I was like, okay, how can I get more moves out of this trade? What happened? And that's how I learned to grow from 5 to 10 points to 15 points to 20 points. When I started the channel, I was averaging 50 points. Now I'm averaging 100 points, right? And I'm starting to slowly grow into 150, 200 points. So it's how you have to grow into that. But that comes by journaling. Okay, what do I see, and how can I improve my strategy, and how can I get more out of this move? with less risk or with the same amount of risk, because it's all about risk, right? Hey, Mr. Chaos, how are you? But yeah, I just use TradingView, and I used to just use either you can use Notion or you can use PowerPoint or anything you can. But yeah, I hear a lot of good things about TradeZella because you can also track your stats and your data. So I think that's a really good option. Um, but Lens, I have a very high win rate. Do you have a high payout level? A high win rate doesn't mean anything if you don't have any payouts. It sounds a little bit harsh what I'm saying, but um, all I need is an automatic stop loss to be in place. Oh, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that's the right attitude, to be honest. I think there's more to do than just placing your stop loss. I think there's more to do because if that would be only the case, you would have done it already. If it would be so simple, I'm just being honest. Look, I have a high win rate too, but if I don't follow my rules, I'm going to give back all my money because the next trades will be, it's just because if you have a high win rate, but you can't make it to payouts, that means you don't have a high win rate because you're giving, from high win rate, you're giving back the money, so you don't get to that payout. It's only small payout. I don't run because I know they're doomed. Okay, good to know. Okay, I don't want to put you, but I want you to succeed. You've been very honest, and I appreciate that. You're very open about the struggles. I mean, it takes guts as well, guys, to be honest about what you're struggling with. Hey, Talib, how are you doing? Hey, how are you doing, Mr. Chaos? Time for some money, yeah, or time for not to lose any money. You see how we are slow in this? We're just 243. So, like I said, I think we might go all the way into this range here, go into this gap. Hey, Vivek, yeah. Okay, that smoke is a humidifier. I think I should put it off because they were burning some sugar cane in this season, and it smells really. It's like very sweet. It's a very ugly smell. And it's sort of like also and it's also nice for the humidity for the face. It gives my face. But yeah, no, there's no fire. I had to say it a few times because new people come in, right? And I'm just wondering, people are like, maybe they're all quiet, like, oh my God, the house is burning down, but no one is saying anything. Um, oh, thank you, Lance. And thank you for you guys. But yeah, so you see, we are in 50% of the wick, and you can see we're sort of like hanging out here, and we're not getting over the end walk, right? So we really need it's. I think we'll do it at some point, but that's what happens when you have a wick, which is a gap, which are imbalances, which needs to be balanced out. So that takes time. So that slows down price action always. Not always, but most of the time. Let me rephrase that. Hey, you said always, and look at that. Yeah, I know. Not always, but you can see it goes to 50%. We retrace a little bit, we hang out, but we do respect a 50-minute order block. So we're still bullish. Let me open the door, and I want to see if I can open the light. I need light. Okay, we're back. Oh yeah. So yesterday there was a pipe burst, a water pipe burst in front of. There was apparently in the street that I live in, where I park. So I live in a dead end street, and there was a water. And I was like, always like, we had a lot of, we had a large storm last week. Remember, I don't know if you guys remember that I was without power, and I was suddenly there was water, and I thought that's weird. I thought there was like, there's a lot of trees, and okay, maybe the trees are, every morning. But apparently, I didn't know there was a water pipe going through it, and I didn't have any issues with water, so I don't think it was the pipe that, you know. So they were digging and digging, but my car was in front of it. I'm like, guys, I don't think I can leave anymore. So I said, oh, you guys finish the job, and then I'll come back in an hour. But then I came back, and I noticed that the soil was very, I can't drive over it. I think the car's going to fall into the gap. And so we had to test it a couple of times. And then they had to, luckily, the neighbors had a big pile of soil. We were allowed to fill the hole. But then they said, well, you know what? The first few times they tried and it wouldn't work. It was a good thing that I asked them to stay. I said, hey, listen, we need to test this because otherwise I can't leave. And my car is gonna fall into that hole that you dug because it's very wet and I think it's going to, So they had to come they had to really try and use some bricks as well into it, so finally I could drive out and he says, yeah, don't drive back over it because it needs a few days to harden. So yesterday I couldn't leave my home. So today I've got to do some groceries. um Lovely view. Yes, it's a lovely view here. Hey Jose, how are you? How many trades do you make per day? So that I try. My rule is one good trade per account per session. But if I do really well on one account, for example, in London, I try not to touch it anymore in New York. But I'm allowing myself one good trade per session, per account. Now, when I have a break even trade, for example, it still allows me to make another trade, right? But I'm sort of like I said earlier today. I bend the rules a little bit when it's a losing trade, which I should not do. So I know I don't have Instagram. I try to stay out of social media. It sounds really weird, but I sort of like want to stay under the radar a little bit. I want to grow as a channel, but not. I'm not looking for fast growth, or I'm just looking for organic growth in a way that just the YouTube algorithm finds the right people for the channel, and I'm sort of trusting it. So every time when I open up X, I just see so much drama and the same. I don't call them traders; they're just influencers with a lot of bullshit. I'm like, oh, they're so tiring. Yeah. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised. Like I marked this area already here, even though we went into this fair value gap already. I think we might go lower, so I might be stopped out on this trade. I can't move it because well, I don't want to move it anyway because you're not allowed to move you're not allowed to move your stop loss. Now, in which scenario would you already take off the trade and already take it out if you know it's going lower, right? At some point you don't have to wait. When you really know, okay, I'm really on the wrong side of it, obviously you take it off. I don't do that with my paper trades because I journal it like this. Like I already said it, okay, 50% of the wick we might retrace. You know, I already said it and it happened and I still put the trade on. I marked the area and it's playing out, so I should have waited. 251. It's almost. Hamad, where can I learn? Where can I enter and trade? Can you guide again? Well, so I'm ICT based and time based, but on my Discord, I have created just the ICT. I would say the starters package, which I think are just the basics to start with. But obviously, if you want to learn ICT, you can go to his channel. But I just sort of like, it's a lot to start with. So I just, on the Discord, I just made like a couple of most important months just to get the basics. Obviously, there's much more you can dig into, but just to start, I think that's what I created. But yeah, yeah, that's a good question, Green Globe. Could you clarify exactly what you want to learn, or what is it you want to focus on? I want to give it a year. Yeah, okay, a year is good, but don't limit yourself, okay? Because it can take longer, and if you just limit yourself to a year, but it's good that you're already giving yourself a year. That's at least realistic, but sometimes it takes a bit longer. Look, when I started doing ICT, I got my first payout after 12 months, but then I fell back into break even for another 6 months. So it took me about 1.5 years to get consistently profitable with ICT. Now, I don't know if you're younger, maybe your brain is faster than mine, but just be careful, just limiting yourself to only a year, right? Because sometimes it just takes a little bit longer. But it also just depends on how much you study. So I'm stopped out, like, I'm not surprised. Let's see, it wants to go into this little gap here. Pum, 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 pum. No, I don't send any friend requests, Marat. Because of that reason, I do not send any friend requests. You guys have to send me friend requests because that's the reason I don't do it, just to make sure that if you get a friend request of mine, you know it's a scammer. That's why I can't do it. So yeah, I know it's just it's crazy. So there is someone with a different account, a different name in my and they see who is in my Discord, and then they attack you guys with my name. So they have two Discord accounts, right? One with a false name, or with a name they are here not using my name because it was stupid. Sometimes they would even get in my Discord using my own name. I'm like, are you really literally getting into my Discord with personating me? Are you that stupid? But I believe how they operate is they go in with a different name, so they look normal, and then they have another account, and that's how they find you guys, right? So they know who that you're in my Discord. I think that's how they operate. Green Globe Explorations. Well, I think just watching streams might not be enough. It might help. It might. I don't know if it's enough if you don't have the basics, right? But I think getting the foundation and studying besides YouTube, because I think sometimes if you start, um, well, do you guys really? I mean, do you really learn just from the stream? I'm just curious to. Obviously, that would be an honor if it's the case, but I'm just wondering if it's just enough. If it's just, it should be like you study yourself, and then the stream is just, oh, you're watching the market. We hang out together, and obviously, because I'm the one only who can talk, I'm talking, but it's not like it can be your only source of education, I would say. I'm just curious if it's, I think it has to, it's just like, okay, oh, what's happening in the market? Oh, this is my trade plan. Oh, what's she doing? Okay, it's not like you are, oh, that's interesting. I never looked at that. Oh, let me study on that topic. It's more like that, I think. Oh, what is she using? Oh, that wick, 50%. Oh, that's interesting. Let me study that. Does ICT have some topics on that? I think it's more like that how I think people address it, or how they get the value out of a channel like this. Or it's more like having company, while we're just trading our own things. And sometimes you pick up on something, or you're already like, oh, I have the same plan. Oh, I'm trading, I'm fading her. I'm doing it totally different. Yeah, feel free to join the Discord, Hamad. Um, but Hamad, in all fairness, ICT concepts work for me, but it doesn't work for everyone. It really depends on what resonates to you, right? But I can definitely, for me, it was the missing link, because I tried quite a few things, but for me, it was the most logical thing, and which I built my foundation upon further. So I've been building upon that foundation. So I see ICT as my foundation, and then I deep dive more into the algorithm, which is time based, studying time, and I deep dive more into the subject. So, but you have to start somewhere. So for me, the foundation which I really, really, which resonated to me, is that, okay, guys, we went into this little gap here finally. Oh no, we did not. Okay, so no trade for me yet. Let's see what London does. So here we go. I literally see, so this is annoying to me. Have a great day, guys. Thank you. You should live trade New York. Hey Vivek, I actually trade, but I do it with the in a membership in pre-market prep, because I sort of like keep it a little bit small. So I do trade. I don't trade publicly yet, but maybe I will do the New York session, PM session. But yeah. I just want to see the other side of trades and what they are thinking. Exactly. That's how exactly. You don't want to follow everyone, right? So yeah, I'm just curious how, because I would not, I would feel, it's more like, oh, you get little things out of it sometimes, but not like, oh, it's my main source of education, right? I think that is either a mentorship or something else, but not like the stream, because there's so many things happening while we're looking at trades and stuff like that. Okay, this is something I really don't like. Did we get into this wick? No, we did not. Or in this gap? No, we did not. But we did go, it touched exactly the blue line. Isn't that amazing, guys? What the F? Now, I still wouldn't want to go long. Why? Because of this gap here. But we did go into an order block. You bastard today. You already stopped me out once. Now, what I am annoyed about is that I took the trade too early, right? And I already was mapping this out here with this, and I took a trade. So that's already like, okay, why did I do that? I would rather have entered the trade here, put my stop loss here, and then sort of like think, okay, with 3 o'clock, we most likely will hit this gap. That was actually what I thought would happen. We would wick into this and then go higher. It just did not go here. You bloody bastard. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think this is the moment that I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to take that long. I'm just not going to take that long. Why? Because that gap there. And if it goes without me, it goes without me. Um, and also, look, we opened up here. Now it could spike up, but I'm not gonna. I'm just. We did take 50% of the way. Yeah, I think it's gonna go, but I think it's safe up to here. 686, 20 more points to go. How do you deal with impatient? Um, well, that's actually not easy. You have to have strict rules and stick by them. And um, for me, how I'm getting better at it is seeing that waiting sometimes, and sometimes, well, look, sometimes you miss a move because you're sticking to rules. It's a double-edged sword, but it's okay. One time a move comes that might have been nice, but the other 9 times might have given you a loss. So the thing that I'm getting better at, and I think that pre-market prep is actually showing that, because especially the last few weeks, London didn't give me my trade, and it was during the streams. It was on. I just don't feel calm. I'm just gonna wait. And I'm just gonna paper trade. But then in pre-market, or when the open in London came, I had like the best trades ever. So you start to learn that your patience, your is paying off, but you have that it pays off maybe the next session, or things like now. Let's see, guys, if those who are long, let's see if it goes all the way to a level, or is it coming back, and is it just, effing around? And I stayed out of trouble, maybe because I said, I don't trust it, because look, it left this little gap here. But so the impatient becomes better to deal with if you force yourself to wait longer, and for your setup or things that you find important. And at some point, you'll see the reward comes because of you waited. And most of the times, if I let something go or I don't take it, it gives me a better trade later on. And sometimes you miss something, and then okay, well, I mean, how could you? I mean, it just spikes from here. There's no logic for me. It's just a spike up. It left an imbalance. I could not know this, so for me, it would have been more logical if it went lower here. I would be more comfortable taking it. So I'm okay missing this, because for me, there's no logic behind it. It just runs. Now there is sort of logic. It tapped my blue line though, but I don't like this. I don't like this. So and then we call that so Vera, we call that YOMO here. That's something that Lance introduced here. The joy of missing out. I feel, well, I actually don't feel joy of missing out when I see a large green candle, to be honest, but I'm okay that I miss a move like that. But obviously, you want to catch the larger moves. But it's also like, okay, well, I'm following my rules, which makes me proud that I did not engage. I'm already stopped out on one trade, so I have to be aware of that. Even though it's a paper trade, it tells me I was too early, I wasn't following my rules. I draw this red box, and I said, I think we're going to go into the red box. I thought we were going here, so I have to wait, but I did not wait. I took the trade, and I was stopped out. And then it ran without going to the level that I thought it would do. So, am I starting to get pissed off? Yes, no, I'm just joking. But patience always pays. And sometimes you miss moves, and that's okay. So, for example, we have a nice green candle, so that offers us more opportunity for later on, right? Because we want displacement. Displacement are things we want to use for next trade. We can't, it's harder to trade from accumulation, but once you have displacement, it makes it easier for the rest of the session. Well, we are bullish. I'm bullish until ES hits this area here. We might just spike up all the way, guys. I can see it happen. Let's see. Let's see if we reject here or are we going to fall back into the range. Pum, 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 pum. Mm-hmm. 708. Yeah. It's a beautiful spiky, spiky. So yeah, you just get more patient by waiting and seeing that the reward comes afterwards. And the more you start seeing it, the easier it gets to wait. So now it's easy to do that in London because in London we still have a lot of opportunity, right, for New York and the remaining days. So I do find it more difficult while let's say I don't have any trade in New York or in London and pre-market, and then I really have to be very careful because that's where the danger comes from me. Like, okay, in New York, I haven't had done anything. So then it is easy, it's easy to say it now because we still have a whole day ahead, being patient because, okay, I missed a trade, but we still have pre-market, we've got London, a lot of data, intel coming in, I can collect. All good. No worries at all. But yeah, when it's New York already, and then I can get a little bit more, feel rushed a little bit, so to speak, right? Because then time is, let's say I don't have any time, I have to do stuff, I come back home, and there's no trade. Then I have to be very rule based and have to follow my rules. If I don't, then I can get impatient and then I can fall into the trap and then the trap goes into tilt, blah, blah, blah. It's the whole cycle. So, um, but London is the best area for us to practice patience because we still have all day, we collect data. Um, if you miss one move, the move that you miss is going to be a setup for another move because if it's displacement, we will use that displacement as well. So you don't have to be in every displacement straight away, right? I just noticed my little toe poking out of my sock. I'm too poor, don't even have decency. Well, I'm happy that it's summertime at yours, Mr. Chaos, because otherwise you get cold feet. You get one frozen toe. My thoughts are like if a salary takes 30 days, it means not worth it rushing because I have like 30 days. That's just how I do it. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good way to think of it. Yeah. But here, I think our mindset goes into, yeah, well, you're making 30 days. You can maybe make in one day, right? Or in one trade. That's where the problem starts. Yeah. Yeah, so the run, yeah, so for me, the London helps because I still have all day. But I'm just being honest. If it would be New York, I know my mindset is a little bit different. But lately, and my P&L has been showing that, and also in pre-market prep and in London, while I never took a trade in London or just paper trade or had a losing trade, then I did really well. I did really well the 2 weeks before prior. I had like 11, I had a winning streak of 11 days, and all my winning trades were in pre-market prep. Yeah. Just want to make sure I'm telling the truth. Yeah. And then during London, I was sort of struggling a little bit, and I was like, "Ugh, I can't find a trade, and it's not what I'm looking for." But just being patient just gave me it was setting up for everything being falling into place at that time because they were all very confident and they were very good trades and very I think they averaged between 100 and 180 points or something. Some were 80. But so so you get more comfortable missing trades. So I don't feel anything by missing this because I'm just following my rules. I'm like, okay, well, I was waiting for this to be filled. Now one could argue, yeah, your blue line hit. Yeah, I mean, my I sort of like know how to put the right levels on my chart. But then again, I wanted to wick into that little yellow gap. So something's telling me we might not get continuation from here. Yeah, no, I analyze. I'm very rule based. I'm very data driven. Every trade for me has to be built from logic. I have models which have a lot of if-then statements, um, and it just tells me like something is off. I just don't trust it for continuation. Look, also we have a gap between at 3 o'clock, right? You see, there's a little gap here. We formed a little gap. So for me, it's already giving me something like just wait, just give it some time. Just give it some time. And you will see, like for example, let's say it comes all the way down here again, then it will make me happy that I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm happy that I didn't anticipated anything. But then again, you still want to you want to maybe find a way, like, okay, but how could you still go from this blue line to this blue line, right? It's from blue to blue. But is it coming down now or not? Or are we going to invert this or are we going to bounce off this? So I wonder if we're going to bounce off it. I don't know why should come lower. If it comes all the way lower, I think are we going to go? Does that invalidate the long then? So I'm a little bit confused here in the sense of let's have a look at ES. We have a little gap here we could go into, so we could go lower. Look, I like ES up to here. Why? It's the same gap that we've been using on ES on NQ for the couple of days, right? That was that gap, that daily gap here. It's the same one. So and ES didn't go there yet. So I think it makes sense to use that's a draw on ES. Now, I'm sort of thinking we might just go all the way back down again and just go inverse that large fair value gap. Let's see. Why? Because of that little gap. So Vero Lux, that's a very good question. How much? So my comfort zone is max 30 points, but I actually had a trade Monday or Friday. It was a 246 point trades on NQ. I went over that 30 points and it was over. So my max is 40 points, but I went over the 40 points. But my sweet spot is between 20 and 30. I'm like, okay, that's. But I went over the 40 points, 42, I believe it was, because I was framing a 246 point trade and I was like, I can't make it any smaller, but I was quite confident in the trade because I was actually already bearish a longer time, but I just couldn't find a good entry. But then after 10 o'clock, I saw everything was so clear to me. But I had to frame it because I didn't want to miss it. And so I took it, but and then I told myself, yeah, but it's a larger, I don't have many, I haven't, my average is not 246 points. My average is now between 100 and 180 is 200. So I was like, yeah, but you're framing a larger trade now. Maybe I should take it. But I was so uncomfortable. It was on stream, and I literally said, okay, please let it run because then I can trail it to the downside. So the moment it started making some displacement, I could bring it down, and then it was under 30 again. I was like, okay, I can breathe again. Yeah, I feel very uncomfortable. So it doesn't matter my model, all models, everything, anything I do, it doesn't matter. Mini, micro, I just don't feel comfortable with. I need to get there, but I think if I start having larger trades, I need to get comfortable with also a little bit larger stop losses, especially if you're 8R trading. If it's 8R, you can do that. And sometimes you need to because it's just hard, especially when it was second stage of accumulation. So it wouldn't give me a move to the upside anymore. It would just drop down from there. So I couldn't find anything. I just had to work with it. But I was very uncomfortable, and it's on stream everything. I'm like, oh my god, guys, I'm so uncomfortable. Yeah, it's just something so for me, my sweet spot is 20 to 30 points. So on a micro, let's say if you risk $60, like people sometimes look down on a micro, but if you just do one micro, $60 risk is 30 points. If you can't frame a 30-point trade risk, you shouldn't be trading. You should be able to find 30 points. If not, you have to wait. So, and then if it's 2 hour trade, it's already $120 that you make, right? So 30 points is, yeah, exactly. So 40 points is for me, I get very uncomfortable because I know I'm over leveraging. I know my risk is too much. But so that was actually the first time I did it. And it's on stream. And I was so nervous. I felt so uncomfortable. Oh, I hated it. And I was like, oh my God, guys, it needs to go. It needs to go. And then finally it ran. And I was so relieved that I could bring it down. And then I could relax. It's just, yeah, you have to condition yourself to those. That's always, you guys were talking about Lento yesterday. If you put on risk and if you go over, you have to grow into your next level. It takes you have to get used to things. So yeah, everything takes time, but yeah, it doesn't matter how if it's micro or mini, it doesn't matter for me. It's the same. It doesn't matter because I was tracking my data and I found out that it doesn't matter the model. It doesn't matter. It just always came down to that 20, max 30, 40, max 40 points as excessive, but preferably 30 points. I can have my best trades are around 30 points risk max. Yeah, those are technically my best trade. If I go over, now that 246 point is a good one, but it's my first one, so I don't have any data on it. But my best trades are about between 20 and 30 point risk. Then I'm comfortable, everything is working out. I can find, because it's the same structure. You look for the same thing over and over and over again. And the ones that have high probability are most of the times quite similar, right? Because it's sort of like the same setup you're looking for, the same structure. So yeah, I'm always saying, guys, it takes time to grow into getting more points. So I'm always very impressed if someone would tell me, hey, listen, I made $10 the whole week. That's impressive to me. If you are consistent, you are a beginner. Like, yeah, listen, I've made $25 all week consistently. That's impressive. Because that $25 will become 50, that 50 will become 100, and that 100 will become 200. Where is Raal? I don't like it long for because I'm still looking at this area here. I still don't like it. What is a poppy? Long 647 letters. Yeah, not controlling can really mess. Yeah, not controlling can really mess up with you badly. Yeah, so it's very interesting to. I was quite surprised how uneasy it made me being over that 40 points because I literally I watched back the stream and I literally said I think I'm going to take it off. If it doesn't go now, I want to be stopped out. I literally said that, and I was almost at the point to do so. I almost missed that trade, 246 points. And I was looking at it like, wow, yeah, that was crazy. I literally wanted to take it off. Okay, I think we should, let's see if we reject here. The size I meant. My first EVA last 3 months because I was using micros. Yeah, hey, listen, you can easily make $1,000 a day on micros. Obviously, you use one more than one. I think that's like I said. I'm not. I don't feel comfortable with any long. I don't think it's ready yet to move. How many years you take to learn the market? Well, I'm actually a student of life, so I'm still studying, but I think I've managed quite, um, I've gotten quite good at levels, and I think that took me about 3 years. But I've been really studying the first 2 years. Like, for example, I'm like saying, now, okay, I'm not comfortable with a long why. The algorithm is telling me that it's not ready to, it just wants to do some more shenanigans. That's why it's leaving all these these little things behind. That takes time, journaling. It takes a lot of journaling and back testing, forward testing in the beginning. And then you start seeing things and you start trusting it. Um, and I keep saying journaling is so important because that's how you speed up your learning curve and how you can start seeing little things like, ah, look at that. Okay, I noticed that. And I literally used to, I sometimes know exactly if something happens at a specific time, it tells me, I know I can sort of like, because I've seen it happen. I used to journal like, okay, what time did we hit liquidity? What time did we do this? What time did we do that? Because it's time over price always. But I was literally doing like per minute. I've got one student, Pri. I don't know. Now she's on business, but she's working hard. I can tell you that. Um, she's got to do all that stuff, and I'm really teaching her time, time over price always. What time did this happen, guys? 1:30. Now, it doesn't mean always that things, if this happen, that okay, we're going higher. But I instantly said they're leaving this behind. I don't trust to move to the upside. It doesn't mean always, but you have to. How can I say it? How do you know it's going to reject here and then go back here, right? These things you want to journal. These things. These are the things you want to see. Like okay, I don't want to rely on any indicators or anything. I like price action and EMAs are okay. Simply is my end goal, preferably from my phone. Oh, I listen. If you'll be a student of mine, you are not allowed to trade off your phone. I'm definitely. No, I'm really curious. No, I think the question is, I think it's a fair question what he's asking. I understand. I'm really curious about what's the most thing you struggle the most right now after a few years of trading. It is always with me patience. That's an ongoing struggle. I think that's a really good because even though you are progressing in life and if you are getting better, it doesn't mean you have things you're struggling with, guys. It doesn't. You just get better at things. You just get a little bit better. Um, so it is still patience and so impatience being okay, like for example I missed this move but I said I'm going to leave it because I don't trust it, seeing again that it worked out. Now I could still take the trade, but it's just I'm not looking for the I don't want to call it a small trade, but for me it is technically because I like to frame larger trades. um, it's 60 points, but it's still not a small trade. But you guys know what I'm looking. I mean, you guys who have been with me, you know what I'm looking for, right? So I let that one go, and I'm happy now. Let's say we go into this gap that I said, then I know, okay, my analysis was right. It was going to come down again. So next time I probably might take the trade from here all the way to here, right? So something, but so what am I struggling with? Patience. But this thing, just looking at what's happening and that my analysis might be correct, helps me with that. And the second thing is being very strict with your models and your if-then statements and following up. Okay, everything has to line up before I enter a trade. And when everything does, I totally disconnect from the outcome. It doesn't matter if it hits my stop. It doesn't matter if it hits my TP. I trust my models. I trust my data. And I know that I follow my rules. And that's what makes me, that's where my growth is, following my rules. Because once you are technical, you've got your models. Most of us have models. Most of us know the technicals. We have things we look for. But it all comes down like following the rules, right? When do you enter? What do you are you waiting for everything to line up? And in the beginning, you should be more journaling than trading, actually. So also trading just the market, not just the trades by itself, but just the market. So if you don't trade, just journal the market. What happened in London? Oh, look, go on the 15-minute, for example, and you just look. Okay, did we have AMD? Where do we accumulate? Where do we expand? Do I see a market maker model? Oh yeah, look how beautiful. Buy side, sell side. Are we? The question is, we go back to original consolidation. Are we done to the upside? Maybe So that's why I'm also, I am bullish. I think we're going higher, but do we want to make a new range to go back up again, right? Because I always talk about that. I want to go lower to go higher. Now, I'm sort of like getting a little bit of the vibe that we might want to make a new range here. Let's see. So I'm not touching it until this little bastard is filled or touched. So I have to wait for that. And that might take all London, all pre-market. It could go all the way here and start hanging out and leaving this. But I'm not touching it until this is filled. That's my rule for now. A space IPO, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea, to be honest. I'm not interested in it, but I think a lot of money is drawn into that, which I seem to everybody is. It's very hyped, right? But yeah, it's space. I mean, I think it's a good investment, though. I think you can't go wrong with it. Are you into it? Are you I think it might go up and then it goes down and then consolidates and then it finds its right value. So I would not, if you're an investor already pre-IPO, you are good to go. But I think if you get in now, I think it's one of those traps. It always is, right? It goes up and then it goes down. I think I would let it stabilize a little bit. Let the first run go and then it goes down again. And then get in, maybe position yourself. I would be ready for, if your options, I would do some puts at some point because it's hyped, everybody falls for it, and then it goes up and then it goes lower. Hey Richard, how are you doing? Thank you for sharing your rule. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just for me, like I said, imbalances are sometimes more important for me than liquidity. Just saying, guys. It's not only about liquidity. Imbalances are equally or sometimes just as important, or even more important, actually. So we are below 2 o'clock now. We're below 3 o'clock. We are still below above midnight, though. So the question is, are we going to be drawn back to midnight, right? Because we are. We've got this imbalance here. We got another imbalance here. This is a yellow thing. My yellow things um, are volume imbalances that are previous. And you can see this one is exactly on the Asia. Is it Asia high or Asia low? Yeah, Asia high level. So let's see. So I'm just gonna wait. Now it doesn't mean that all imbalances work this way, right? It just has to be a combination of things. Time, combination with some other things. It matched exactly with, I marked this area for a reason. We had displacement here, plus this gap, and it's also like, like we start the New York session 1:30 to 2 o'clock sets the stage for the New York PM session, right? There we go. Boom. Now. Okay, let's see what it wants to do. If it wants to draw to midnight. Should have been the trade here. I should have taken the trade here, to be honest. Let's see what the poll. The YOMO is real. Yes, we love YOMO. It's all good. We don't care. Bullish 70%, bearish 23%, accumulation 7%. Okay. Okay, let's see, guys. Are we bullish, bearish, or are we going to continue to the downside or not? Looks a bit tricky to me. So you see what's happening? We are just accumulating in this end walk, and that could be. So I don't mind missing any trades if it's like this, right? This is just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We went to 50% of the wick. I think this session is just going to be only paper trading. Mm-hmm. Now, once we start going higher, I do think we can take out this high and then also this high. And again, maybe it wants to reject here first before taking out this high. But I'm wondering if it wants to do that, maybe oh, do we have some weirdos here? I think he's PG. I think he's just. Um, Now there is. Let's talk about fills because I think there's a misconception about fills, gaps, and fills. The gap here is just touch, right? It's just a wick through it. When you have a gap fill actually is passing through. Bearish and bullish. You want to see bearish, bullish, bearish, bullish. That is a fill, but just a pass through is not a. It's just a touch. That doesn't mean. Like for example, if it would use it as support, you want to see price move away from it very fast, right? But if it's not, like what you can see happening now, it's like, well, it is sort of like giving support now. So let's see. But the moment you get the fill with price action, for example, if you get bearish, if you have a bearish move, that also tells you we're bearish, right? So now it's still not telling you it's going to go lower at the moment because it just wicked through it. Now I want to see this other gap that I might. I don't know. It's an old one. It's still bloody working. So I'm also not comfortable taking a long from here. Why? Because we got midnight quite close. So this is one of those areas I'm like, yeah, I don't know. 2 o'clock is below us, 3 o'clock is below us, midnight is very close. Would I take a long here? I don't think so. It looks more bearish than bullish to me now, but I'm still bullish higher time frame. So I think we might want to go down a little bit to go high. Oh, you guys are funny. You guys are so funny. Oh, I think my... Is anyone in a long? Tell me, guys, what are you doing? I need to put my... So today I can drive again. I can drive away because my car is now parked behind the pipe. So, not yet. I don't like this area too much. It's just too... Let's see what 4 o'clock brings. 3:44. 3:44. Does it want to go to 7:06 again? I don't know. Actively trying to sit on hands is not easy. Yes. Well, it's the JOMO. Is you? Hey, you discovered the word. You invented the word JOMO. So you should at least. You are a leader in the JOMO thing. Yeah. Look out your window. Am I? Yeah, but in all honesty, Lance, if you look at the price action, do you really want to like look at the 15 minute? Yeah, it might go up here, but we're just going maybe back and forth. I'm going to take this off. We hit 50% of that range. We know now this wick is 50% of that wick. So what do we have on imbalances to the downside? Let's have a look. We have a little gap here. If I look at ES, let's see, the 1 hour and the 4 hour. You see these wicks here? It's going to take a long time. Okay, now let's see. Are we going to go long or short? Is it time for a long? Are we going to... 3 o'clock? Um, what is JOMO? Oh, yeah. So I think it's one of the best things I heard in trading space. It's the joy of missing out. We're not going to talk about the fear of missing out. We are feeling joy of missing out because it's telling us that we are patient and we're waiting for the right setup. So if we see a move like this and we're not in it, we are experiencing JOMO. We're feeling joy of missing out because I felt joy of missing out because I said, yeah, I don't trust it because I think the algorithm is telling me that it wants to go lower first again. So I felt, now in all honesty here, I didn't feel it, but when it goes back here, I felt JOMO because okay, I did good. It was JOMO. It's not always the same, right? It's not always that it wants to get, but when you see, it's just when you have higher time frame accumulation or time distortion, then you want to look for those things. Is it leaving gaps behind that it's telling you it wants to stall time? Because gaps, and like, well, look, if you look at ES, it's already telling you it's not in a hurry to go. It's a wick. It's a large wick. Wicks are gaps. Gaps are imbalances. Imbalances take time to get sorted. So it already tells you it slows down price action. So that's where you see time distortion, but also seek and destroy. So you always have to be aware, like, okay, are we getting time distortion, seek and destroy? Or sometimes it blasts through it, but most of the times it will not. And also when I see a wick like this, I'm like, I'm already prepared. We might go into this wick, go back into this wick, back and forth, back and forth. So I'm already like, okay, I don't like it too much. It's already like, oh, you know what? I might just go to the beach and prepare myself for pre-market prep. See if things get better. See here, look, it's just blocks of going back and forth. Doesn't really interest me. Now, I still think it's going to go higher. Why? ES has that gap, that daily gap that we already filled in NQ. So I think that's the draw on here, this one. We had the same on NQ. We went into it yesterday, right? So like I said, I'm bullish on NQ until ES reaches this. But is it time to move yet? No, I don't think so. I think it's just going to be a boring session, guys. Look at MNQ. We'll see a funny wig. Is it a funny? Yeah. Let's. Is it on what time frame? It's raining and there's no beach near. Oh, hey, Jose. See you in pre-market. Bye bye. We're gonna rock it there. We're gonna have some good trades, hopefully. It's in pre-market. The focus on pre-market is either be done in pre-market or be done at the opening. So take an opening range gap trade. Or if that doesn't work out, then we have to wait until 10 o'clock. Last week it was sort of like easy in the sense of being done very quickly, sometimes done in 15 minutes and then it's done, right? But that's a totally different approach, really hunting trades, really actively looking for setups. And I'm not as relaxed as I'm here in the sense of like, yeah, so here it's winter. So, Mr. Chaos, it's really nice in winter because then it's the time we can sunbathe and really like go to the beach and really like, the only thing is that I don't need shoes on the beach because the sand is not burning my feet. But it's still nice and warm. And I need the sun to warm up a little bit. Oh, let me open the curtain. It's raining in Germany, but it's still not. I mean, you still have summer now, right? So at least it's not cold. I don't mind when it rains when it's warm. I actually like it, especially in summer. It's so nice. Um, this price section is boring me a little bit. Yeah, I think Company Man Carl already said hello in the morning. I think he was he beat you today, Mr. Chaos. I think he was very early today. I haven't seen Mether though. Mether checked in yesterday. I have to make sure. I always go to live chat because of Mether. Yeah, I'm in live chat. Mether, where are you? Haven't seen you today. Oh, here you go. There's Mether. It's the same thing I do every morning. I go straight. It's sort of like a routine. Go to live chat. How's it going? Have you been settling back in after your holiday? It's sunny in The Hague. It was raining all day yesterday. So Richard, I mean, I used to go to Scheveningen in the old days, Zwarte Pad. How is that nowadays, Zwarte Pad? I know Scheveningen itself, you can't go there anymore because it's just gangs and not really like it used to be. But at Zwarte Pad, I had some good memories there. That was nice. Oh, you had two great wins yesterday. Good for you. Well, that's a good way to come back home from. I guess it was early in the morning, right? I can take this one off here. It was just to indicate this. I just indicated I thought we would go lower from here. We go. Just quietly taking stalking the next setup. You know me. I have to stay true to my stalkers. Yeah, it's probably watching through your window, Mr. Chaos, where you're eating. Still trying to have a YouTube fix my chat. Annoying to me since chatting feels lonely. Oh, you have issues with the other. Oh, it's like everywhere, right? You have to go. Everyone has to go to live chat for you, or not? I think your friend has the same issue. Yeah, yeah. That's it's so weird. Party memories, yes. That were most likely most of them. That those are party memories. Yes. If I talk about that area of the beach, definitely. Did you party? Yes, I did. I don't know. I don't know how old you are, but I don't know if you are from the time of Silly Symphonies, if you recall. Um, Zwarte Pot was my, yeah, I mean, it was a good time there. Oh, you're 35, okay. You might be, yeah, you should know Silly Symphonies then. Do you know Silly Symphonies, the organization? DJ Remy? If you're from The Hague, you know DJ Remy. Caravan, yeah, yeah, Caravan, yes. Yeah, 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 yeah. That was actually from the Caravan was actually from Kane, from Dinant. I used to know Dinant at that time when he was with Maddie. They broke up already, but she died. She died of cancer. Very sad. But Caravan used to be from Dinant from Kane. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Am I confused? Maybe I'm confused. Frank, hold on. Maybe I'm confused. Maybe it was the one next door. I forgot the name. And I remember I got two kittens from them, from Dinant. And I mean, I think it was the caravan was from Frank. Oh, Mecca. Mecca was the name. Yeah, Mecca. I don't know if it still exists. It was Mecca. Yeah, that was his. Not, the caravan was from Frank. I'm confused. Mecca was the name. Yeah. It, but only until 2003. Yeah. Okay. So that's already a long time ago. It must be something else now. Oh, now is Wow. Beach Club Wow is on the spot where his beach club was. Beach Club Wow. Okay. I think it's a different vibe now. Can't compare it. Those were the good old days. My friend took over Caravan. So Frank, I don't know if Frank was the owner before your friend, but Frank was the owner a long time ago. uh, no, he was not with Wendy van Dijk. That was Sander, Sander, the singer that used to cheat on every woman. Now I'm starting to feel more bearish. Um, I don't know. I just think it's consolidating and just going back and forth. I'm sort of neutral. I think it's I think we just have to wait. I mean, I don't want to trade this to be honest. Um, so technically, one could argue, okay, when you have a market maker model, you have buy side, sell side. You go back into original consolidation, right? And then you can be done. So technically, yes, we can be done, and we can drop here and leave this for another time. But, but. Okay, so the opening range gap from yesterday was over 600, 700 points, which is massive. We went into it here, right? Just partially, we still have a large gap. But we still have the large gap from here, from Friday. Which is still also part in the OTE level. So I'm sort of like thinking like, this looks like a bullish, still on the higher time frame, on the 1 hour. I still see bullish structure. Now that doesn't mean we could have a retracement into maybe all the way up to here, 481-ish, and then go back up. So for me, when I see this price action and when I look at ES, I'm like, look at all those wicks. Let it go back and forth. Let it time distort and do whatever it wants to do. And then maybe the New York Open might give us a nice trade. And I'm curious to see where did we close yesterday? I want to see if we get overlap on the gap. Because I don't like it when we have overlaps though. But sometimes it can, let me see, where do we close? We closed here at 29,440-ish. 29,440. 29,440. Okay, so we're going lower. So it's always interesting to see if it wants to close the whole gap, right? So if it goes all the way back to here to the daily open. So I can see us go make the gap smaller and go into 477. So I think it's still 100 points to the downside. I just don't like how it moves. So I'm just not really interested. Yeah, maybe this fair value gap will hold it up. It already went into a fair value. It could go back up from here. This is the area where you can get chopped up, guys. You just want to be careful. Because we're still within that N walk. It's a large N walk, and we just go see all these wicks here. We're just creating more wicks. Look, we left a large wick here. We're creating more wicks. So yeah, I'm not. I don't want it. Don't want to be part of this. I think it's time to touch some grass. No, I wouldn't king rat. I would not. I'm not interested in this area. Um, we are in a fair value gap here. We could easily disrespect it and go lower, but then I'm like, yeah. I would be more interested in a short when ES hits this level here. Then I might be interested in a short on NQ if that makes sense. For now, I would just, we still have liquidity here and we still have liquidity here and we still have this large gap here. So I'm interested in this area. I don't want to go short until and ES gets here and maybe we get into this gap here. That's where I'm not considering any short until here. So that means I have to have patience and I have to let this bullshit back and forth just play out. We tagged midnight, so now it might be a good long again. But then again, I think I'm more bullish than bearish, but I just don't want to be caught up in this price action. I think now it's ready to go up. I think everything is done now to the downside, to make a move to the upside. But it looks to me it's going to go a little bit back and forth. But hey, pre-market could give a nice setup. But see what's doing. You get nice displacement to the upside, then it wicks down again. There's a large wick here through midnight, which is a good thing, but it could easily revisit the wick just to go into it and then go back out of it again. I'm looking at this wick on ES. We could easily go down into this wick before we go higher. Like I say, I see a lot of imbalances continuously. I see them creating a lot of imbalances continuously, which tells me that there's not going to be a large move, the move that I want to see. I don't think it's ready yet to do it. So it doesn't interest me. Just back. This is typical price action that can chew up your evals and give you 1,000 paper cuts. And this is where you can go on to tilt. Because you try and then, oh my God, it didn't work. Okay, oh, I'm long. Oh, now it's going short. Oh, let me try again. And then you try again. And then you try again. Yeah. Yeah, it hit the 1 hour FUG, but it could go much lower into that FUG. Like I said, it's going into the wick now again, right? So. It's going back and forth. You see what it's doing, guys? It's just going, yeah. So I'm not going to use my mental capital on this. I think I'm going to go have a nice walk on the beach. Clear my head a little bit, get ready for pre-market prep, and hunt for trades there. And then hope that this whole back and forth and that just everything is clear a little bit. This area is cleared out, and we've got some easier trade. And just this is just ugh, I don't like this. This is just too much shenanigans. Yes, Lucky Mon. We need to get some rest. I also need to study for my driving exam. What exactly do you do in pre-market prep? Well, so actually I was actually planning to cancel it, but then people start joining it. So I changed it a little bit. So now, pre-market prep, is just going over levels what has been done in London and really hunt for, preferably hunt for trades within pre-market. So we're done. The purpose of pre-market prep is getting done with trades ASAP. So it's a totally different approach than what I do here. So it is just okay. The first thing is pre-market to find trades there. Then if not, then it's the opening range trade. So actually at trying to get the open or within the first half hour. And if that doesn't work, it will be that is the largest between 10 and 11. So, but yeah. And it has been going really well. Last week I had like a winning streak of 11 days, and most of them were in, a lot of them were actually literally at the open. But there are some days that it just, you can't just, you just don't see it, and then you just have to wait until after 10 o'clock. And it is what it is. I framed that 246 point trade that was after 10 o'clock. Because I was already bearish, but I was thinking like, um, to find a good entry, and I just couldn't do it until after 10 o'clock. So what time does it start and how long? Well, it was 8:50 and then only till 9:20, but now I just trade the New York opening range session. So until we're done with the trade. Or until we figure out there's no trade today. So it's not really, I have to change the time though. So it's just as long as it takes. But yeah, it was first, the idea was just pre-market prep, just preparation, but now it's just literally just until the trade is done. So the idea is really hunt, hunt, hunt. Hunt until we are done hunting. A very focused, very, very, it's a totally different approach. Okay, let's see, 409. Let's see if we can get over 2 o'clock. You know what I don't like, Richard? I don't like these wicks on ES. Let's see. Just want to make sure that. Oh, what time frame is this? 4 hour. Let me go to the 4 hour here. What time is it? 4 o'clock. Okay. Um, here we go. Now they are the same. How did I not have them on ES? Okay, so let's have a look now. I'm looking at the 4. Let's go to the 1 hour on both. Okay. Fear indoor. Oh, there we go. I just want to say, oh, maybe it's going to spike up. Oh, look at that going. Mm-hmm. Why is it so dark here? Oh, it's going too fast. Yeah, it's hard to trade it. It just spiked, right? So it's hard to enter. I don't think it's going to get a pull. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't give a pullback because it's just the FU algo is on. I think it's going to go for that liquidity now. Um, don't feel FOMO. Don't rush in, guys. If you missed it, you missed it. It's okay. There'll be enough trades, really. I mean, don't chase it because it might spike back. It's leaving a lot of fair value gaps, right? So if you miss it, you miss it. JOMO, joy of missing out. Next time you journal it and you see, okay, what happened? Where did we go? What did we do? Next time you might be able to catch it. There's always logic behind it, right? It's what did the algo, what did it show at midnight? Where did we start spiking? Here again. So when it spiked in that little gap right here from here. But look what it leaves behind again here. I would still be cautious, to be honest. They left a little gap here. We still have this suspension block here on the 15, on the 1 hour, pardon me. So 416. Are we gonna get a run up until 5 o'clock? I'm still I'm really keen on this area here. So I think at some point it will blast. Okay, let's see, guys. Okay, I like it. The pullback a little bit. Let's see if we can get an expansion to at least 707-ish. I might do another paper trade for now. 707. What time is it? 417. Mitigation here. We inverted this, yes. It's 417. Let's get into this one here. Let's see if we can make it. Then I'll do another long. I like, again, it's going to be the same level that I tried this morning, 707-ish. So it will be above my blue line though. And then we might have another pullback, and then maybe pre-market we might get into this range here. Yeah. Give it some time. We've got a gap here. We've got a gap here. 9 minute. Ugh, I just don't like this price action. I think I'm just gonna let this go. It's too wicky wacky. It's telling me it's bullish, but is it ready to go? True that. You never trade New York session. This is like a turtle shoot next to 9:30 open. At least my stops are working. I've taken huge losses tonight, but I'm green over somehow. If my losses don't blow my account, I can usually chip my way back. Yeah, but Lance, the thing is that you want to try to prevent that, right? Because it takes so much from your mental. I used to also like, oh my God, look at me, I'm so good. I can get back from a drawdown. But it takes away a lot of your mental capital to chipping your way back, right? So you don't want to even get there anymore. So I think you just need a little bit more. I think it's just some tweaking, getting a little bit more rule based, a little bit more stricter to avoid to get into those. It's just kind of dope. I mean, every trade sometimes. I mean, sometimes it's like, I don't know. I think even a losing trade gives a dopamine hit sometimes. I don't know if that's really. It sounds weird what I'm saying, but yeah, I know the overtrading thing. I can. I feel it. I like to. That's why I paper trade as well. Like I have an itch. I need to really just trade. Okay, let's paper trade. But yeah, as long as it's in live market, it soothes the um, can you help me understand one more time how you knew it wasn't going to continue based on the ES being different from NQ? I don't understand the question, King Rath, but I think okay. I think what you were referring to is that Okay, the wicks. I think you are referring to the wicks. So wicks are higher time frame wicks are lower time frame imbalances. It's a gap. You treat wicks as gaps. A gap is an imbalance. So what does the market do? The market does only two things: seeks liquidity, balance out imbalances. Now, when you see larger wicks being formed, it tells you that price is going to slow down. It's going back and forth. That's where you most likely, when you have time distortion, if you look at the higher time frame, you will see a lot of wicks, right? Because that's what the market does. It goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Seek and destroy also. Seek and destroy and time distortion are two different concepts, but they can look a little bit similar. But the seek and destroy will just create liquidity, takes out liquidity. Create liquidity, takes out liquidity. Time distortion is that you're stuck within a range, but you have a lot of wicks within that range, and price goes back and forth within that range. So if I'm looking at ES at the 4 hour, I'm seeing these large wicks here, and I'm like, okay, if price is going to make its way up here, a lot of the times, that's why we grade those wicks, it can stop at 50%. But we already had one stop here and we went lower. So it's sort of like a question if NQ or ES really wants to go into 50%, which is also the midpoint of the N walk. So here I do think ES will most likely stop as well. So I think we're going to get a spike up, but you just want to be mindful that ES most likely will stop here again, go back into the range, maybe go into this wick before it goes take out this liquidity. So that's how you can use higher time frame wicks. So it just slows price down. If you see wicks are being created, especially in the 1 and the 4 hour, I'm talking about large wicks, you sort of it can create the concept of time distortion. So you be aware, okay, you know what, maybe the move might not go in one time. But yeah, this looks pretty bullish now to me on NQ. So NQ, it looks like it wants to take out this high here. But let's look at the 4 hour on NQ. See, so this is the difference with NQ, right? You can see the difference here. We already went past the midpoint, so it's already done the job on NQ. So NQ it looks like it's almost ready to make that last run here, because it already is, it already on the lower time frame we had some back and forth already. But if we go to the midpoint here, we're already over the midpoint of this wick here. You see, we already done the work. So most likely, I think we'll get some SMT here. NQ will take out this high, and ES will stall in the wick, and then you get your SMT a little bit to the downside again, most likely. I think temporarily, because they will catch up again. Because I'm still bullish for this wick, for this area here. But this just slows things down, right? You can see it's sort of like making its way up, but you can see how it's going back and forth. It makes one leg up, retraces, one leg up. It's slow, even though we're over the midpoint already. But you want to be careful because, yeah, the moment ES touches that 50%, and NQ has not taken this out, you also want to be aware it might just give another stall. There's going to be a lot of stalling. It's going to be every time you're going to see, oh my god, it's going to go there, it's going to go there now. And that's where you get you want to oh, Lance, normally I would ban men if they would say these things, but I know you now a little bit, so you are excused. You're funny. I'm married to NQ, you know that. There's not a bigger degen than NQ. That's the biggest degen of them all. But yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if 5 o'clock gives the push. Richard, what do you think? Oh, so it's not my character? You don't like my character? It's just because of the 100-point trade, not my character. Okay, King Wrath, what indicator do you use? You mean for the NWOGs and NDOGs? Is that the indicator you're looking for? Yeah, 450 macro. I think so too. I think that macro might do the push, right? Ah, let's wait for the macro. Come on, I'm sitting here anyway. See, I'm such a degen as well. I can't. If I would go to the beach right now, I honestly I would, even though I wouldn't trade it, I was like, with the 450 macro made the run. I love tape reading, guys. I love it. And even though if I would give myself a break of the market, I would still would like to watch every maybe end of the day. Okay, what did the market just to see what the market has been doing, not to be like so behind. It will be really hard for me not to look at them more. I don't have to trade every day, but just have to what's going on. Like I wouldn't sit on the beach now like, oh my God, did the 450 macro, because I would rather journal this already and then be done and go to the beach and then prepare myself for the next phase. But I really would like to know if 450 macro is going to give the run, or maybe even sooner. I don't think so, but let's see. If it does, it will surprise me. But I always like to. I don't use SMA, EMA, and VWAP. Lens, uh, don't start being creepy now. Um, yeah, yeah, Lance, you're gonna be pointed out by the chat here. I just love my chat. They're very protective. Calm down. Yeah, you guys are so funny. And we love Lance, but Lance, we have to put you in your place sometimes. I think that that's something you need, also with your discipline, right? So sometimes we just have to slap you back in your corner. Um, no, I don't use volume profile or ATR. No, I am so my foundation comes from ICT and time and more time based, which means the algorithm. So I don't use volume profile. I don't use anything of that what you have written down, but I just use ICT concept as my main foundation. I've been building my knowledge on top of that, and building on top of that means more time based, building my own time based models, if that makes sense. But ICT foundation is, so I use all the PD arrays. Where do I find a breaker? Where is a mitigation block? Where is my rejection block? Using the gap theory knowledge has been very helpful to me. He actually introduced that last year. That was really for me a game changer as well. But yeah, everything is in the candles. Like I always make a joke that I want to make a um, I want to make a t-shirt. I love large wigs. Everybody's gonna joke, oh yes, but it's true. I really like large wigs. Why? Because they give you so much information. People always say, yeah, wigs do the damage, bodies tells the story. But if you would ask me, would you rather see? I mean, I couldn't trade without wigs. Wigs are so important to me, to my trading, because they give me actually more information than the body. Only when I'm looking, for example, if I mark my levels, then I use the theory. Okay, are the bodies, what are the wicks and the bodies doing? It tells me if it were bullish or bearish. But technically, when I look on the higher time frame and I look at the chart, like wicks can already tell me, okay, we're going to go into time distortion. We're going to get seek and destroy. It already prepares me to stay out of some kind of areas because I can see how the candles are printing, right? Thanks for kicking over the info. I'm using whatever I can. Yeah, no, hey, listen, you start whatever, and what works for you, right? If something works for you and you have a model around it and you've backtested and you've got data, it's perfect. So everything resonates to, we all have different brains. Something resonates, what resonates to me might not resonate to you. and you have to try things. And if it works, if you find something that works, but you have to backtest it, and it has to be going with your risk management, then anything can work. But it has to be something that, because we're all looking at the same chart, right? And we have tools and indicators that help us to maybe see some things that our brain can't process maybe faster. Or like for me, I use gaps a lot. So the end dog, end walk, and the opening range gaps are my favorite gaps. I think they're the only ones we use at the moment, but they help me. They are a roadmap to me. Okay, what is the market? Because I'm more of a imbalance trader than actually liquidity. Obviously I go for liquidity, but for me it's like, okay, first the imbalances and then comes the liquidity. So for me, I focus always on more on imbalances. And most people only think, oh, I have to look for liquidity. Yeah, you also have to look for liquidity. Imbalances are equally important. Yes, a method. I was planning so, but I have a Discord tab, but I couldn't cancel it, and then people joined, and I go, oh, I'll just keep it, whatever. So um, there was another question I wanted to answer. Oh, mitigation block. Yeah. So the mitigation and the breaker, the only difference is that with a breaker, you have a low or high taken out, and with a mitigation block, it's just a failure swing. So there's no. So for example, let me see if I can show you on this chart here. We can consider these candles a breaker. Why? Because we have a low taken out here. So this becomes a breaker because you got a low, high, lower low, right? And then we have it's activated because we have a passing through. So this now is an activated breaker. But if you have a mitigation block, then you wouldn't have the low taken out, right? So that's the difference. Yay! Mether is I have to add you on the. Let me add you straight away, Mether. I know you have the same name in. Now the pressure is on because now Mether, he's like, oh my god, now I've got to perform every day. Now we've been doing pretty well in the pre-market prep, and it's very focused. It's just. Let me add you. So it's not about the money, guy. The thing is just, I just want to keep it very small and very focused. So I'm very afraid of trolls, and it's a time I'm very tuned in. I'm very dialed in. I don't talk as much as I do here. So that's why I sort of like, it's sort of like really when you want to, you don't want any distractions when you really are making your money. Let me put it that way. Method. Pre-market prep, here you go. Lance, you should lock yourself out. If you have made profit, just stop. Just get out of it. Go touch some grass. Go get a hobby. Do you go to the gym, Lance? Yeah, AMP is good. Yeah, we don't make any jokes on pre-market prep. No jokes. I'm serious. No, I'm just joking. But oh, yeah. Why keep trading? Go get a hobby. No, but no, I'm just joking. But no, Lance, do you go to the gym? It's an honest question. It's not meant to be. How many days and what time is pre-market? So pre-market starts 8:50, and just now it's just on the thumbnail it says only 20 minutes, but I just go on until we find the trade. And so it's literally just the like I say, I try to have a trade. I might even start earlier, but we'll see. Preferably pre-market trade, or it's going to be the opening trade, or if not, then 10 o'clock trade, or just after 10 o'clock. So sometimes I just have to stay longer because then it's just. And if the market gets iffy, it's just okay. Like yesterday, it was like, you know what, we're just going to. I already had like when I came back, there was trades in pre-market, but it was really early. It was like 5, 6 o'clock. I posted it in the pre-market prep in the group, but we weren't streaming. And then after the market opened, it was like, what are we going to do? And then it was at some point, never mind. Yeah. I need a lot more than push-ups. Well, no, push-up can be fine. Yeah, 8:50 Eastern. Correct. Yes. Yeah, no, I'm just saying, just if you, yeah, go to the gym. It really helps. Or go, you know, just do something else. Just try to get some. I mean, if you do well, if you say I'm doing well, I think the problem with you overstay. So you do well, you stop and limit yourself. Like if you like you say, okay, you've got a high win rate, you probably have a specific time that you do better. You just stop, and then you either do something else, but lock yourself out per session, and then come back the next session, right? Yeah, it seems to see it's popping its head over the end dog and walk. I think so too, but I still wouldn't. I still would want to wait for the macro. I think. Let's see if we can get a pullback for 440 to 450. Um, see if we can frame a small trade. We've got everything below us. Midnight 432. 432. Boom. Okay, go. I want to see. Um, 703. I'm just not sure if it wants to go higher than that wick and then maybe go back into the range. So let's say only take out the 711 wick. So I'm not really interested because the move should have been lower, the entry. I'm just wondering if it wants to go back and consolidate around 711 after it took out 711, or just rejecting that higher wick. I'll watch it. Maybe I'll take a small trade, let's say until 712-ish. Let's see. It's going into the range. I'm gonna wait a few minutes and see if I can frame it range to 711. And also here, when we hit this level, let me just two R. If I get in here, okay. If I get in here, it's good. Okay, I'm gonna paper trade this. Stop loss is gonna be here because if it goes lower, it will invalidate my trade anyway. TP. I'm just gonna take it up to here. Just 36 point. 15 point stop loss. Okay, that's okay. Small trade because I'm just going for that one wick, like this wick here. And I think it might reject here, so I don't want to take that risk because I want to go to the beach, remember? So I'm just front running a little bit the macro. Now, if it goes lower and stops me out, that would suck. If it go here, but I don't think so. But you never know. Is this a devil's mark? No, it's not, right? I still don't trust it. It could reject here and then go. It's 4:44. It's quite early. My blue line. I don't like the blue line. I want to go over the blue line. Pom pom. Apex Prop is becoming a new favorite for many. I don't use them, but I might. Well, still on sale. Yeah, Anonymous Giraffe is also. Is Anonymous Giraffe? I saw him. Yeah. Oh, he's back. Okay. Yeah, Anonymous, you were here this week already. I would like to share an indicator with you that I found for TradingView that you might really like. Oh, yeah, I know those. You show different time frames. Yeah, it depends on. Some people use them already. Fady is good. Higher time frame candles. Yeah. You see, I hate that we're not going past that blue line yet. Maybe we really need the macro. Come on, I don't like that. That it's not going. That it's sort of like wicking there. Oh, hello, Gigi. Do you want your tuna? Do I need to make you tuna? Oh, come on, go, 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 go. Yeah, I just want to that one wick, and then I can and then I hope with pre-market or New York, I think they will leave. I hope they leave this. Um, it's either they're going to fill this gap or they're going to fill this gap because the new one is going to have overlap with this one. But I'm wondering if they. I think this one will be in play today. I mean, it's also such a large, still within the OTE levels, and then we can slam. We know we can go down. Or maybe they're going to continue to the upside again. I don't know. Who knows, right? We don't know. It could just go start going all the way back up and make new all-time highs. Everybody's thinking it's not going to happen. ICT thinks the whole world is going to go dead. Crypto is going to die. Everything's going to die. There's going to be nuclear weapons everywhere. If you have to listen to him, you get very depressed when he starts talking about what he thinks is going to happen. I mean, how many times did he already say that we have to get canned food and water filters and stuff like that? Well, I'm still eating normal food though. I'm going to change my name to Anonymous Gorilla. I know, yeah, he's been a little bit annoying lately. And just keep to the charts, my friend. I mean, we love what you do. I highly respect you, but please do not share your personal opinions because I just really wonder how many people have sold their Bitcoin or their crypto because of what he's been saying. I think there are people that really have done that. You see, I don't like it that blue line is just resisting. Might be stopped out, but that's okay. It's a paper trade. Those levels are damn good. 449. Okay, don't go lower. Force myself through the mentorship. Look, I, in all fairness, for me, I had no issues with the mentorships because there was not many. I must say, when he did the spaces, it was nice up to a point. I think it started maybe last year a little bit. That it really started to irritate me a little bit. Like, ugh, I don't want to listen to your personal opinions because I think you are, I would almost say, a radical. Well, let me not say. I'm almost think that he's almost a radical left wing. His views are like, see, there we go. Fuck this. Oh, oh, you know what I was looking at, guys? I was looking at this devil's mark here. Even though it's on the 1 minute, I hope YouTube is not going to ban me. Yeah, I said the F word. It just popped out of my mind. It just popped out. I try not to. Profanity. I was looking at this. I'm like, no. And I was also thinking, like Richard, he said, yeah, there's no way. But I was already looking at this. Hey, listen, my lines are good. They work. And I didn't like it that we start wicking here. But we're still going to go up. But maybe not now. That is also my cue to stop listening to you. ICT is king. Yeah, well, you can go anywhere. That's fine. Oh, a little snowflake here. I love ICT, but listen, if I don't like his personal opinions, then I'm free to say so. I would tell him in his face if he comes on my stream anytime. I have no issues to have a debate with him. But you little snowflake, bye bye. That is scary if people are really idolizing someone. Listen, I love ICT concept, but idolizing him like he is king, that's scary. It's crazy. You can't have a personal opinion. It's just only by debate, and just like I don't agree with his personal opinions. Oh, he's king. Yeah, you cannot disagree with anything he says. That's scary. That's how you get a cult, right? Listen, if somebody comes here and talks shit about the concepts, then I will defend it. But as a person, I have issues with how he is using his power and how he's projecting his personal views on very vulnerable people. So, yeah, exactly. But if you are insulted by having a different opinion than your mentor, oh, well, life is going to be tough for you. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not about personality, it's just the views, and I think it's he has a lot of influence, but you have to be aware of that as well, right? If you say specific things, you can, if you have, especially the weaker people, they are vulnerable for that. So, but anyway, there's no room for snowflakes on this channel anyway, so yeah, exactly, Lance. I don't want to say that as well, but he's not a prof. He's trying to. What I have an issue with is that he is sort of trying to pertain himself as a prophet almost. That he has been talked to. He gets the messages and he knows things because the I'm a believer, but I would not. I would not, because people are like, oh my God, he is, yeah. And there you have one. Well, he left the stream. Well, he's gonna run to ICT and tell on me, oh, there's someone hating on you. There's someone hating on you. I'm sure I can have a good debate on him. I mean, I would literally, if ICT would come, I would literally, I'm a Dutch, well, Richard is a Dutchie as well. We say what's on our mind. I'm not going to sugarcoat. I say, hey, listen, I love your concept. I'm a big believer of your concept, but I have some issues with what you've been saying lately. I don't like it, and please do not do it on my stream. And he would say, hey, I respect that. I won't do it. So nothing, there's really no issue at all. I mean, yeah. So there's no hate. It's just being honest. I mean, and everything what I say here, I have no issues to say that to him himself and have a conversation about him. I would literally ask him, "Hey, listen, don't you ever worry about that you might influence people in the wrong way that are maybe weaker and just sort of like see you as a god or even a well, this is like an example. He said he is king. I see Michael doesn't want to be pursued as a goat. He hates it when people talk like that, right? But then, yet he sort of like, uses the influence in a way that I think sometimes is not the right way. But we're all allowed to have our, we're all are allowed to have our opinions, right? And share and have communication about it, talk about it. And I think he's open to that as well. If you would say that, he wouldn't mind. There's no hate. I'm just being honest. We don't do hate here. And I say it every time. I never would be here without ICT Foundation. So we don't hate on the foundations. We love it. I would trust anyone selling a course. He's marketing genius with massive, probably beyond reach, but ICT always seems. I don't know. He still trades. Okay, 457. So you see, Richard, how tricky that was, right? It still went lower. Took the stop. So I guess this is exactly what I mean when there's a lot of wicks and it goes back and forth before it makes that move. So I would rather not even. Now, I'm going to be honest. If I would have been on the beach, I would not be comfortable because I want to see what the 450 macro is going to do. So even though now it didn't, I think it still is going to run, but I still would not, I still would like, oh my God, I want to know, you know. So I'm more comfortable watching it go and see how it behaves. Um, and then go because I still want to know, right? But I'm sort of like, you know what? Next time I'm just going to go earlier and enjoy time instead of watching this and being even though on paper I get upset because it stopped me out. Why? Because I've got to journal it. It's work. Every paper trade is a lot of work for me, guys, because I journal it and I have to go over, okay, why did I get in? But I already said I don't like the market because it's going back and forth. I still took a trade because I don't think I want to show off. But it's sort of like also, for me, the paper trade is the same. Why? Because I'm detached from the monetary outcome. For me, it's really, okay, having a good trade, being on the right side, being correct, reading the market correctly. If I put on a trade, I'm expecting it to go. And I think I got hyped up a little bit, like, okay, now, you know, I think Richard, you said, yeah, the 450 is going to, like, yeah, I think it's going to go. So I was like, yeah, yeah, I think so. If Richard says it, I think it's, you know, 450. If this one didn't deliver, it might go. So I got, but I already, you know, I already said I don't like the market. I'm going to look back at when the pre-market starts because most likely there won't be any. It won't really run most likely. But then, oh no, 450 is going to do it. But you know, I could have been already at the beach and enjoying it. Exactly. So okay, guys. Well, now we're just going to watch 10 more minutes and then I'm really going to go because let's see what the last, well, it still could run because we're still above 2 o'clock. It's 5 o'clock. We're still above 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, midnight. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if it does that, but let's have a look what it does. If not, see, we are retesting this order block. Damn, my level. This one is the latest one. It's pretty awesome. So now I'm seeing like if it taps into it, it's just not going. So we're literally creating liquidity, right? So it's creating highs, lower high to take out at a later point. So yeah. Let's look at the wicks. How are the wicks forming? You see here? You can see 1, 2, 3, and 2 here. So it always slows down, right? So I don't. Again, I say always. Most of the times it slows down. Lance, you know my beach here. There's no one. It's like I call it busy when there's 10 cars. Um, in during the week, it's like maybe one fisher. Maybe sometimes there's no one in during the week. When it's holiday, it can be a little bit more busy, but I say it's busy when there's 20 cars. Then it's summertime. But you know, you can still find a spot where you can sit privately. But I hate also busy beaches. Um, would you like to be? No, I don't do any cold. I'm not a cold. I'm not going to do any cold here. Then I get these weird people that call me the queen and the goat and stuff like that. Hell no. Listen, guys, I'm just to you. I'm the same as you guys. The only thing that I'm different is that I just opened up a YouTube channel and I press stream every morning. That's the difference. And I have to talk a little bit because it's my stream, but I'm not different than you guys. I'm not different than anyone who trades, who journals, who keeps studying. Lance, would you like to be president of my cult? I even have the cool eight ready. Oh, you guys are so funny. I love my chat. Okay, let's see. 5 o'clock. Um, I would bet my portfolio, and yeah, I never do any contests. I never look at them, but I'm too busy at the moment. I mean, besides trading and the mentorship, and then also, but maybe it's time to start going into some competitions. It's also a good thing to test yourself, right? Because it's a different way of maybe tension and stress. Oh my God, I've got to compete now, right? So I think it's a good test maybe to. I don't think I would outperform anyone. I think there's better traders. I don't think I will do really bad, but maybe just depends on. I don't think. I think it's hard to say. Maybe if you have a good day, you can do well, but I think there's also days that I might not do well. So I think it's not like, oh my God, I will do well all the time. But I think it's good to test yourself. I think it might be nice. I don't know. What is a nice competition? No, but when you do no, but the thing is, um, no. Well, if I would do a competition, I would like to win. Simple as that. And I would be very embarrassed if I would end up last. Just being honest, if like say if I would be, because everything is in the open then, and let's say if I would uh be in and you're lost, that would be embarrassing, I think. But no, if I would do the moment it's a competition, I want to win, because that's why would I enter a competition, right? So yeah, otherwise I'm just, we already sort of like, it's like with golf, you actually, it's your own game. So but I think that's what we're doing every day already with our evals, with our fundeds. That's what we do every day, we battle ourselves. But when you enter a competition, I would at least want to be in the top 10, I think. So I sort of like want to know if I'm ready for it. I actually don't know. No, I don't think I can beat. I think ICT. No, I think ICT knows very well how to trade. Listen, he knows exactly what he's doing. I don't think he might show everything, but I have no doubt. I have zero doubt that he has issues with trading. And I think he can easily make large runs. I don't think he might not show, but he does show them. He does show those trades. No, but guys, what's the purpose of a competition? The name is competition. If I'm in a competition, I don't want to be last. Listen, I used to play tennis on a high level until my back gave me issues. Um, you have to have a drive. If you do competitions, you have to want to win. So that's why I'm not doing competitions yet, because I don't have that drive yet. But not, hey, if you guys are starting to make me interested in competitions, yeah, I'm interested. But then I want to win. But then I need to know, like, am I able to? Because I don't want to end last, because that's embarrassing. So it's also a next level thing, right? So if I'm going to do that, I need to be ready for it. But am I ready for it? I don't know. I just don't know. Oh, Richard, it was in Zoetermeer. So I grew up in Singapore. I used to play tennis in Singapore from my fifth to my 12th. Then I moved to the Netherlands, and then it was in The Hague, and then in Zoetermeer. I can't remember so my father was actually one of the best players of the Mets. He won a lot of, he was actually, he was He was an amateur, but he was the highest level amateur that you could get. But he was almost well, he's dead now. He passed away, but he could have been a professional player. But he wasn't, he chose. He was very, serious. So he took a job and he became an engineer. But he was a very good tennis player, and he was very strict for me with me. So he taught me also how to play tennis. But he used to play at the Mets, yeah. So when I moved to that, I used to play a lot with my dad on the Mets. Oh, you used to play with Timo. Ah, I gotcha. So you know the Mets. Yeah, Mets is a nice club. I like the Mets. So, um, but yeah, so tennis, when I watch tennis, it's always like I see, you have to have this drive. You have to have this. Second place actually doesn't count, if that makes sense. The worst thing is when you become a finalist and you don't win. It sounds horrible because you make it all the way to a final, but you lose. I think that's even a worse loss. I don't know if people that are competitive, they understand what I'm saying. Like you make it to the final and then you lose, but that pain is much bigger than you would lose already in the semis or in the, quarterfinals, if you understand what I'm saying. That pain and that loss is feels so horrible. So if I'm doing competitions, guys, I want to win. So I need to be, and I don't think I'm there yet, to be honest. So if I get my 200, 300 point trades regularly, then maybe I would consider it. Or if I'm okay with 40 points risk, instead of like my heartbeat starts going up and I get very, like that. I don't think I'm there yet. So I think I'm growing. If you look at my streams when I started, you can see my growth very clearly. I think it's very clear on the stream because you can see my trades are during the stream are getting. I made a lot of growth during the stream, literally. So so I'm really in the process of growing now. So I need to keep up. I still need to keep doing what I'm doing and keep getting better, keep working on it. But you can clearly, if you look at the streams from the beginning and now, there is much difference in trading, and my trading styles definitely has gone much better. You can't, when you trade live, you can't hide anything. The truth is just there. Simple as that. So yeah, so I'm really in a growing phase right now. So I'm on my way, but I think maybe um, yeah, but I might get interested. But if I do competition, I want to win. I don't want to be. I don't mind to be in the mid, like if I would start in the mid, but if I would make it all the way to the top and I would lose almost one. Well, so I think with trading, maybe I will be very happy with the spot within the first 10. I think so. Traderify had a really cool Western style competition. The theme was really cool. All the info were outlaws, and it's a 1v1 tournament with brackets. Okay, interesting. Oh, I don't know that Rijshaag in Rijs. I do know Rijswijk, but yeah, I love tennis. I wish I could. I mean, I still watch all the Grand Slams, but I can't play it anymore because of my back. So that's why I went into golf because of my back. And then I fell in love with golf. But hey, listen, tennis is still my number one. I don't watch golf. I do still watch tennis. I love the Grand Slam tournaments. Oh, I mean, especially when it becomes a mental game, like when it gets over a five, when you get to 5 sets. And then you can see who's the stronger player. It is not about only physical anymore, it's about mental. And it's so interesting to see, right? You can really see those. I mean, oh, yeah. No, I had 3 operations on just a hernia, but a really bad one. So um, I might even be able to play, but yeah, I love it. You play no golf. I said I play golf now, but I used to. go over the gold charts, but now gold is a little bit, we leave gold for what it is, but gold will get back on. Okay, guys, you see, now we lost all our value. We could have done something nice in this time. The chart actually already told us. Oh, neck hernia. Oh, yeah. I mean, I never had so much pain in my life. I mean, I never complain about pain, but nerve pain. Ugh. No, I needed surgery very fast because I had no control over many things anymore. It was really bad. My situation was pretty dire, and I had to sign also something like, oh, if it doesn't work, I couldn't sit for a year. I didn't sit for a year. Um, I was working for KLM, and they were very good for me, but I was transported laying down in a taxi to my work. I could only walk and lay down, but I was still working on morphine. I think they let me work, and they were like, well, just let her work. Whatever. Oh, well, she's on morphine. Don't worry. It's sort of like a family. So they just let me do my thing because I was also coaching at that time, and I think they were like, what is she saying? Yeah, just she's on morphine. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, they're a very good employer. I mean, in all fairness, it was a hard time, but just getting you to work for a couple of hours per day and then bringing you back in a taxi, so you still were connected to the work. That's how good it was. And they were like, we better not get, yeah, you're too yeah, but the pain was so bad. I mean, you needed morphine. It was just horrible. And I'll tell you, okay, guys, I'll tell you a personal story. I have no addiction issues, but I wasn't really well guided with the morphine. So I started eating it like a bag of chips at some point, and the problem came afterwards. I needed to get off the morphine once the operations were done. I know how it feels to be a junkie because getting off the morphine, that was the hardest part of that whole, it was a 2 year cycle, that whole back thing. It was a 2 year thing. I had no issues while I was using morphine, zero. I think I was still doing my job. I mean, it sounds weird. Maybe I wasn't, but I think I was still doing my job, and I could still. I had no. I didn't have any. I didn't see weird things, but at some point I said, okay, I need to get off it. I want to get off it because there are some things that it affects. And the moment I thought, okay, I'm ready to get off it now, I was at 80 milligrams, 100 milligrams per day. It was ridiculous. I was literally taking as much as you give people when they're dying. But then came the bullshit. Then came the nightmares. I saw weird things because then we had to raise it again because my body was reacting to it too much. That was hell. I can tell you honestly, I literally experienced how a junkie could feel. And like I said, I've never had any issues with addiction, whatever. But that was, I think, the hardest part of that whole journey. So if you are on morphine, be guided. Don't let it, because they just, if I would go to the doctor and I said I need more, they would prescribe it. And there's no roof. It just keeps on going. If you just, but getting off it, oh my God. Then your body is like, what? Your mind wants to go off it, but your body doesn't allow you to. That is next level shit. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, I don't take anything anymore. But listen, back pain, nerve pain, oh, that is, I don't complain about pain anymore. But when I feel that pain, that is pain. But yeah, getting off that morphine, that was pretty. I think it took me about 1.5 months because we had to go back a few times because it was too fast. It was horrible. Yeah, your opiates are needed to be normal. Once you're the function, once you're on them, you can function. Yeah, I functioned pretty well, but I had no issues. I had no, I didn't see weird stuff. I functioned. It was just like, you have pain, and the moment you take it, it's the relief, like, oh, I don't feel the pain anymore. And then I could just do my thing. But I never knew, if I knew in advance it would take so much effort to get off it, I would have not let it get so fast, so far. But anyway, guys, it's time for me. I'm gonna go to the beach. We did not make the run. It will run at some point, but we'll probably miss it. I don't care. I'm happy that I actually sort of like thought of it, like, it's not going to do it. Let it go. I'll see those in pre-market prep. I'll see you in a bit. And all my other lovely family members. I'll see you tomorrow, London time again. Stay safe. And yeah, you guys take care. And Lance, don't be a degenerate anymore. Don't give any profit back. Promise me. Don't give any profits back that you make today. Keep everything. I was on Roxy's for a year after a car, probably my favorite thing, but I can never take another. I have never heard of Roxy. Um, yeah. Yeah, all drugs, opiates, I mean, they have a function, but it's not worth it. But anyway, ciao, guys.